I extend a grand cosmic welcome to each of you to the National Science and Medical Forum 2025, a sanctuary where minds ignite and possibilities bloom. Today's gathering stands blessed by the divine wisdom of Guru Vedatri Maharishi and shines in the eternal memory of Sri J.L. Krishnan of Jagadala village, a beacon whose legacy still lights a path in the Nilgiris. We are graced by the presence of architect of knowledge, guardians of discovery, warriors of wisdom, scientists, sculptors of human brilliance, honored guests, dreamers, believers, and my dear students, each one a heartbeat of the future. So let the air tremble with purpose, let the hall rise with energy, and let this moment become the spark that rewrites tomorrow. Every school prays that one day one of its students will rise so high that the world looks up, and today, our St. Anthony's Higher Secondary School, Kunnur, prayer stands fulfilled. Dr. Kannan Jagadala Krishnan, a towering scholar with degrees spanning continents, a theoretical physicist, a cosmologist, and former director, academic and research of Dhanalakshmi Srinivasan Group of Institution, Perambalur. But beyond all titles, he is our very own student, a proud Antonian, a seeker of truth, a sculptor of science, a shining star born in the cradle of our St. Anthony's Higher Secondary School, Kunnur.
Prayer song. With hearts open and minds aligned, let us rise as one family and welcome our prayer song. May this sacred melody bless today's journey. Let us now invite Mr. Bhaskar to lead us into divine light and mark the beginning of this extraordinary day. Please stand for the prayer song.
வாழ்க வையகம் வாழ்க வையகம் வாழ்க வளமுடன் குருவே துணை. எல்லாம் வல்ல தெய்வமது எங்கும் உள்ளது நீக்கமர. எல்லாம் வல்ல தெய்வமது எங்கும் உள்ளது நீக்கமர. சொல்லால் மட்டும் நம்பாதே சுயமாய் சிந்தித்தே தெளிவாய். வல்லாய் உடலில் இயக்கமவன் வாழ்வில் உயிரில் அறிவுமவன். கல்லார் கற்றார் செயல் விளைவாய் காணும் இன்ப துன்பமவன். அவனின் இயக்கம் அணுவாற்றல் அணுவின் கூட்டு பக்குவம் நீ. அவனில் தான் நீ உன்னிலவன் அவன் யார் நீ யார் பிரிவேது. அவனை மறந்தால் நீ சிறியோன் அவனை அறிந்தால் நீ பெரியோன். அவன் நீ ஒன்றாய் அறிந்த இடம் அறிவு முழுமை அது முக்தி. அவன் நீ ஒன்றாய் அறிந்த இடம் அறிவு முழுமை அது முக்தி. அறிவு முழுமை அது முக்தி. அறிவு முழுமை அது முக்தி. வாழ்க வளமுடன். நாம் அமர்ந்துள்ள இடத்தை சுற்றிலும் நல்ல தெய்வீக ஆற்றலை நிரம்பின. நாம் அமர்ந்துள்ள இந்த வளாகம் முழுவதும் நல்ல தெய்வீக ஆற்றலை நிரம்பின. அருட்பேராற்றல் உடலிலே உயிரிலே அலையலையாக பாய்வதை உணர்கிறோம். அருட்பேராற்றல் இரவும் பகலும் எல்லா நேரங்களிலும் எல்லா இடங்களிலும் எல்லா தொழில்களிலும் உறுதுணையாகவும் பாதுகாப்பாகவும் வழிநடத்துவதாகவும் அமையுமாக. இந்த நிகழ்வை முழுமையாக இறையருளும் குருவருளும் இருந்து வழிநடத்தி செல்லட்டும். ஒரு நிமிடம் அப்படியே நம்முடைய மூச்சு காற்றையே கவனிக்கலாம். இந்த நிகழ்வை முழுவதுமாக இறையருள் சூக்குமமாக நிரம்பி காக்கட்டும். முழு வெற்றியோடு அமைவதற்கு இறையருளும் குருவருளும் துணையாக இருக்கட்டும். வாழ்க வளமுடன். வாழ்க வளமுடன். வாழ்க வளமுடன். நம் மனதிலே அமைதி நிலவட்டும். நம்மை சுற்றிலும் அமைதி நிலவட்டும். உலகம் முழுவதும் அமைதி நிலவட்டும். அமைதி, அமைதி, அமைதி. அப்படியே அமர்ந்து கொள்ளலாம். நன்றி. வாழ்க வளமுடன்.
Thank you, sir. Every great institution has a heartbeat, and today that heartbeat walks among us. A leader of light, a guardian of generation, and the guiding spirit of St. Anthony's High Secondary School, Kunnur. Our most respected Reverend Brother Dr. Thomas Selvam, patron and organizing secretary, as we stand on the threshold of this magnificent gathering, it is his voice that will set the direction, his thoughts that will ignite our minds, and his vision that will elevate today's journey. With immense respect, admiration, and pride, I humbly invite the guiding star of our St. Anthony School, Reverend Brother Headmaster and Correspondent, to deliver the welcome address and chief guest message. Please, brother.
Honorable dignitaries, the special invitees, the star of the day, Dr. Kannan, dear teachers, well-wishers, and students, a warm good morning to all of you. This day is a great gift from God, a day of a discovery, a day of a new invention, a day dedicated to appreciate and congratulate and honor the hard work someone has put in. And that privilege has come to me today to welcome that baby called Dr. Kannan, who was at the cradle of St. Anne's and St. Anthony's. As a father and mother figure of these institutions, we are happy that the baby is still at the lab of the great alma mater. The baby is happy to come back to the mother. And the mother and father, the alma mater, is so honored and privileged to honor that baby with the highest esteem and honor. It is said in English, what lies before us and what lies behind us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. I repeat, what lies before us and what lies behind us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. This Dr. Kannan has triggered that seed that was lying within him. That seed was not simply to perish. That seed was not simply to grow in vain. But that seed has grown with something new, something creative, something to be appreciated by the whole world. That's why we are all here, to welcome him and honor him so that his hard work benefits fittingly. It is said, yesterday was a waste paper. Today is a newspaper. Tomorrow is a question paper. We do not know what's happened. But if you don't write and read properly, your life will become a tissue paper. But this great Kannan, all these years, he has labored with sweat and blood. Not only to prove, most of us are here to prove that I am right, I am gentle, I am correct. But here is a man who is swimming against the current to disprove what has been done by someone. That needs guts and courage to stand against the running currents. And that courage is with Mr. Kannan. And that itself is a great privilege and honor that we appreciate him and congratulate him today. Very big honor. In Tamil, there is a particular word, a letter called Ve. Ve என்னும் எழுத்து வேதத்தினுடைய முதல் எழுத்து, வேதம். வேதத்தில் மூழ்கி இருக்கும் பல்வேறு நலன்களையும் பல்வேறு குணங்களையும் பல்வேறு நல்ல நடத்தைகளையும் எடுத்து கொடுப்பது தான் வேதம். இவை அனைத்தையும் பொதிந்து வைத்திருக்கின்றது, மறைத்து வைத்திருக்கின்றது. வே எப்பொழுதுமே மறைந்து கிடக்கும் வேதம். வேடம் போடுகின்றார்கள். தன்னுடைய சுயநலத்தை மறைப்பதற்கு பேர் தான் வேடம். மறைந்து நின்று ஒரு விலங்கை கொள்ளுவதற்கு பெயர் தான் வேட்டையாடுவது. We are always hiding ourselves. ஒரு பெரிய மரத்தினுடைய வேர்கள் எப்பொழுதுமே பூமிக்கடியில் மறைந்தே கிடக்கும். இவ்வளவு பெருமைகளையும் புதுமைகளையும் கொண்ட திரு கண்ணன் அவர்கள் ஆடுவதில்லை, அசைவதில்லை, தற்பெருமை கொள்வதல்ல, தலையாடுவதல்ல. எளிமை, தன்னடக்கம், தன்மை என்ற பல்வேறு நல்ல குணங்களை கொண்ட ஒரு படிப்பாளியாக, படைப்பாளியாக, படைத்ததை மனிதர்களுக்கு கொண்டு செல்வதற்காக ஆசைப்படுகின்ற ஒரு நல்ல மனிதன் திரு கண்ணன் அவர்கள். The great Alexander the Great, he said, "It is my parents who showed me the world, but it is my teachers who told me to take that world into my hand." It is my teacher. And today Mr. Kannan is a visible, viable and vibrant teacher who is able to take the world into his hand. And all of us are here to express our happiness and joy that a great scientist is there in our midst, from our soil, from Nilgiris. It is a very big name and fame that he has brought to us primarily and to the country at large. And all of us are here that his hard work should bear a fitting fruit in the future. It is not enough that we are in the hall to shake hand and giving him a pat at his back and go, but we should continue to pray. The Almighty God gives him the fitting reply, fitting reward at the earliest possible. His hard work should not go in vain. It must produce a fitting response. There was a daddy who was walking along with a small little daughter. He told the girl, "Come on, hold my hand." The daughter was hesitating. She didn't hold. If you and I were to be her daughter, father would have given her a slap. That particular man asked that girl, why don't you hold my hand and walk? The girl said, Daddy, if I hold your hand, I might slip and fall away. But if you hold my hand, you will never allow me to fall away. Now, let us pray that Almighty God holds Mr. Kannan tight, so that He doesn't allow him to slip and fall away, so that his hard work gives a fitting response and reply to him at the earliest. We all must pray that prayer from today. It must give him a fitting reward and honor. And that prayer we must pray to the Almighty, that He comes down on him with the great gift and honor of recognizing his theory. Very, very important that we pray that today. In this world, the youth community, they all say, I don't have employment, I don't have employment. But the scientists and economists say, employment is available in abundance, but employability is absent. Employability is absent. But Mr. Kannan, Dr. Kannan, who has traveled across the world, who has served many institutions, he said, I am a man who is employable. I am capable of producing something creative and productive. And that he has done not by words, by his actions. Today's world is a world which clamors for creativity. Any school you go, any function if they conduct, they tell everyone, it must be creative, it must be creative. What do you mean by creative? What is creativity? How to be a creative? Creative. There are two definitions which I can give for creativity. One is, find a new connection between already existing two things or two persons. I repeat, find a new connection between already existing two things or two persons. That is creativity. Anyway, I will quote the same man whom he is trying to disprove, Sir Isaac Newton. He was walking along the way. He was tired. He was weary. He was fatigued. He happened to take a rest under a beautiful apple tree. He was resting. At that time, there happened to be an apple falling down from the branches of the tree. If you and I were to be there, we would have eaten the apple, quenched the thirst and hunger, happily we would have walked. But this man, Isaac Newton, he didn't do that. He looked at that apple. He looked at the apple very, very intensively and asked that apple, inanimate thing, why did he fall down? Then he began to raise hundreds of questions. This apple, when it departed from the branch, it could have gone high in the sky, but it didn't do. It could have flown parallelly on the right side or on the left side. It didn't do that. Or it came down to the earth. It could have fallen on the ground with a zigzags. Neither that it was done. But it came exactly straight 90 degree onto the ground. He began to analyze what is the connection between the apple and the earth. And that research gave him a new answer called gravitational force. That is creativity. That is creativity. That is creativity. There is another definition for creativity. Find a new solution to already existing old problems. I can give you a practical example. 50 years back, when a boy comes to the classroom without homework, I can give a slap. I can give a knock on the head. I can give a pinch on the cheek. I can even kick him with my legs. Old problem, old solution. But the same problem exists today also. The children, they come to the school without homework. Can I kick them? Can I pinch them? Can I scold them? I can't even look at them straight. But what is the new solution? Call them. Come on, boy. Will you do it tomorrow? Respectfully, honorably ask him, will you do it tomorrow? I might not. Maybe the answer of the student. We'll have to be very, very tenderly, motherly and fatherly in making him or her do the homework. That is another definition for creativity. Now, we have a tangible, living witness, living example, a paradigm, a change, who is an example of creativity. He has created something new. He is trying to prove to the world that I am different from other people. And that creativity has to be honored, accepted, and respected. All this name and fame goes to that particular individual called Dr. Kannan. In English, how to honor a man, which is the biggest respect that you can give to a man. According to English tradition, English language, it is said, when a man hits the maiden century at the Lord's Crown in England, the whole crowd stands spontaneously, automatically, and instantaneously they stand. Standing ovation is the biggest respect we can give to an individual. And today's chief guest, today's star of the day, and today's man who has done something creative, something original, something very, very natural, he has to be given a standing ovation. Wait a minute. Now, the students from Anthony's school will honor him with a shawl and a garland. I request the August gathering, all of us, as and when they do that auspicious gift and honor, I request the whole gathering to stand and give him a very big round of applause. Please stand. As and when they do that, I request Ms. Dr. Kannan, please come to the stage, sir. Please be seated. Once again, on behalf of our baby, Mr. Dr. Kannan, once again I extend a warm, heartiest welcome to all the dignitaries and special invitees. Enjoy the day, learn from it. Once again, continue to pray for him. With these words of welcome, I take my seat. Once again, thank you very much for this opportunity. May God bless all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, brother, for welcoming us with warmth and inspiring us with your powerful words. Success isn't just about what you accomplish in your life. It's about what you inspires others to do. Let us honor the visionaries whose very presence feels like a blessing, whose words feel like courage, and whose journey feels like a torch of hope.
May I now call upon Antonian's boys to honor our chief guest, Colonel K.M.N. Kuttappa, with the shawl, garland, and memento. Please, sir. Thank you, sir. May I now invite Antonian's boys to honor our chief guest, Reverend Brother Dr. Thomas Selvam, headmaster and correspondent of St. Anthony's School, with a shawl, garland, and memento. Please, brother. Thank you, brother. May I now request Antonian's boys to honor our chief guest, Mr. Raman, Baduga community leader, with the shawl, garland, and memento. Thank you, sir. May I now humbly invite Antonia's boys to honor our chief guest, Sister Patricia, headmistress, represented by Sister Princey, St. Anne's School, with the shawl, garland, and memento. Thank you, sister. May I now request Antonian's boys to honor our chief guest, Mr. Senthil, with the shawl, garland, and memento. Please, sir. May I am great privilege, Antony's boys, to honor our chief guest, Mr. Manjunath, with the shawl, garland, and memento. Please, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, dignitaries and Antonians. Today, we are graced by a mind that doesn't just teach science. He shapes the future of science, a scholar whose footsteps echo across continents, a beacon who has carried knowledge from classroom to galaxy of innovation. It is an honor beyond measure to welcome Emeritus Professor Akhtar Kalam, a visionary from the College of Engineering and Science, Victoria University, Melbourne. I warmly call upon Professor Akhtar Kalam. I warmly call upon Professor Akhtar Kalam to grace this stage and gift as a brilliance of his thought.
It's a great honor for me to provide my views on Dr. Kannan Jagadatla Krishnan. I know Dr. Krishnan personally, as I've had a personal association with. It's a great honor for me to provide my views on Dr. Kannan Jagadatla Krishnan. I know Dr. Krishnan personally, as I've had a personal association with him for over 16 years. Which has given me a deep understanding of his capabilities. I've worked closely with Dr. Krishnan over the years on research activities, particularly during his tenure as a senior research scientist in India. We have worked in renewable energy and smart grid research. I found him a scholar deeply committed to promoting renewables and quality education. His work in microgrids, renewable and smart grids has earned him international recognition. He's also actively contributing to fostering collaborations, leading accreditation processes, and advancing impactful teaching and research. Dr. Krishnan has over 20 years of experience in teaching, learning, research, industrial and academic leadership, accreditation and financial management over several countries, including Australia and India. He has also worked on various research projects, including international collaborations. He worked very closely with the senior management of many institutions. He's instrumental in introducing multiple new courses and electrical engineering programs in India and overseas. He has published widely, and the quality of his work is exceptionally high. In 2013, Dr. Krishnan completed his PhD from Victoria University, Melbourne, Australia. He worked under my supervision. His doctoral work focused on the implementation of renewable energy to reduce carbon consumption and fuel cells as a backup power source for the national broadband network in Australia. I'm very well aware of his collaborative contacts, both within academia and industry. He has worked extensively in his area of research interest, both in India and abroad. He has also organized several short courses and conferences at national and international levels. He has been constantly involved in several research projects, both within and outside the university sector. He has supervised many research students. Besides being a very motivating lecturer, he is highly respected in his discipline. I've had the pleasure of being involved with many of his engineering committees and academic works. His publications significantly contribute to establishing his credibility as an expert in producing original work in the field of electrical power systems. He has also been instrumental in introducing various innovative changes in the postgraduate area. Kannan has a thorough grasp of his discipline and an excellent attitude toward innovation and progress. Through his hard work, clarity of thought, and quest for knowledge, he has kept abreast of the latest trends and developments in the field. Formal as well as informal discussion with him reveal a keen mind, an abiding interest, and genuine enthusiasm for new ideas, techniques, and approaches. I believe he has an extremely high standing amongst his peers and colleagues. Kannan has developed a very effective teaching and learning methodology. He has been invited to give lectures and demonstrations on his research. He has excellent links with various teaching and research institutions and in India and overseas. He has also participated in numerous school visits, career fairs, and exhibitions in India and overseas to promote his courses to potential students interested in pursuing a career in engineering. Kannan has actively participated in several professional committees. Kannan has an excellent understanding of not only the day-to-day running of an active department, but also of managing resources, staff, drafting, policies, and making tough decisions. He has a very well sense of responsibility and has shown seriousness of purpose in pursuing excellence. He possesses admirable administrative skills and is recognized as the ideal person. He is genuinely concerned about his students' welfare. His standard of work is commendable. Activities such as course development and accreditation, teaching at both postgraduate and undergraduate levels, examination and liaison with outside bodies are thoughtfully planned and methodically implemented. Kannan is very active with all his professional associations. He has held several responsible positions in professional institutions. He is also a chartered member of these bodies. I've always found him friendly and eager to cooperate. He's highly supportive of increasing research activities within universities. He's also recognized for his exceptional teaching skills, having authored numerous technical papers and reports. He has been known to have a very good working relationship with academics and support staff of our department. In many conferences, he's been invited to give workshops. It has been a pleasure talking about Dr. Kannan Jagadatla Krishnan, and I wish him all the best for now and in the future. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Your presence doesn't just inspire us, it ignites the scientist leaping inside every young dreamer here. We are privileged to have you with us. Today, we are honored by the presence of a leader whose life stands as a testament to courage, discipline, and unwavering dedication. With deep respect, I invite Colonel Sanat Kumar GC to address the gathering and elevate us with his inspiring words. Please, sir.
Namaskaram and a very good morning. Respected Dr. Kannan, Jagadala Krishnan, distinguished guests, and dear students and friends. It is often said that there are two ways to understand the universe. One, look up at the stars and wonder how they were made. The other way is to look around our world and wonder why and how we are here, existing, living, and observing. Is reality truly that which we observe? Or is it the act of observation that makes up the real in reality? Brigadier Krishnendu Das, the Commandant, Madras Regimental Center, Wellington, has sent me as his representative due to the service exigencies running, which is holding him back. He conveys his gratitude for the kind invite. As warriors of the Madras Regiment, our life is defined by the tangible realities of the ground beneath our feet. The borders we secure and by the peace we guard. But today, as we gather to hear Dr. Kannan speak on the Vedatari model of the universe, I realize that the physicist and the soldier are not so different after all. We are both, in our own ways, seekers of order, always prepared to confront the surprises reality keeps throwing at us. In our regiment, we survive because every unit, every individual moves in harmony with a greater plan. This is not unlike the cosmos Dr. Kannan may describe. A universe that is not just a chaotic accident, but a structured, intelligent dance of forces. When I read about the kinematic quivering and the balance of compressive forces that hold existence together, I do see the ultimate chain of command. Absolute space, the concept of the silent, invisible foundation of all reality, resonates very deeply with anyone who understands service. Most of us do our bit in some way or the other. The true strength of a nation, like the strength of the cosmos, I believe, often lies in what is unseen. That is, the silent resolve, the quiet sacrifices, and the invisible gravity of duty that holds everything together. Our regimental motto, that is of the Madras Regiment, that is Swadharme Nidhanam Shreya, reminds us that there is glory in fulfilling one's specific duty. The Vedatri model suggests a similar cosmic truth, that every particle, every Vethon has a specific role to play. If a particle abandons its nature, matter may collapse. If we abandon our duty, peace falters. And similarly for everyone here. The scale may differ, but the dharma behind it remains the same. Dr. Kannan, you are here to bridge ancient wisdom with modern physics, showing us that the universe is interconnected in ways we are only beginning to understand. It takes courage to challenge established dogmas, especially in the field of physics, a quality every soldier respects. When we Thambis, as we are called often, say, Veeramadrasi Adi Kollu, it is a call to action. Today, you offer us a call to reflection, to understand the vast, beautiful design we all are part of. Ladies and gentlemen, let us listen with open minds and consider ourselves privileged to be here. Thank you and Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. Your presence today reminds us that true strength is silent, true service is fearless, and true leadership leaves footprints in the minds of tomorrow's generation. We are deeply honored to have you with us. A leader who has stood at the frontliness of cyber intelligence and community safety. It is our privilege to welcome Dr. Bhaskaran, SP, Cyber Retired Community Coordinator, Cyber Division, Aurovilli Foundation, Ministry of Education, Government of India. I now invite Dr. Bhaskaran, beacon of integrity and innovation, to address this august gathering and illuminate us with his words.
இங்கே கூடியிருக்கிற அனைவருக்கும் என்னுடைய முதற்கண் வணக்கம். I welcome you all to the Science Forum. I submit my respect and salute to all seniors on the stage and off the stage, and also to all students. I have to salute Mr. Kannan for his initiative and dedication towards the principles of Veda, as he is one of the admirers of My name is Dr. Bhaskaran. I am qualified with BSc Chemistry, Chemical Processing Instrumentation Control, Doctorate in Human Resource Management, and then I did my PGDCA and professional courses in CERT India, NIC and IT department. Also developed my own applications. Presently working as community coordinator, cum cyber, in Aurovilli Foundation, Aurovilli Pondicherry, Tamil Nadu, and also working as adjunct faculty in Rashtriya Raksha University of MHA in Pondicherry. I am retired Superintendent of Police, Cybercrime, Pondicherry Police. I worked in all police stations, and also I was the A to Z in police department, looking after IT since 91, and I had full experience in all fields of policing. I had a good experience. I had trained National Security Guards as police commando. In addition, I am an yogi, plus 4th dan black belt in karate in the Panther style. And then I also learned gymnastics. I had my own education in NCC also, in junior division and senior division. So overall social combat and social security and those things I have been well experienced. I also worked in Cotton Grease by the Castrol. And it is a very great pleasure that Dr. Kannan, I was assisting Dr. Kiran Bedi, the then Lieutenant Governor at Rajnivas, Pondicherry, as Chief Grievance Officer. At that time, Mr. Kannan Jagatala Krishnan, he had already remembering his own town and his father. Kannan came to meet Dr. Kiran Bedi, and he was explaining, since I am already in yogic way of life, whatever he told, initially I was surprised. And Dr. Kiran Bedi told, you tie up with Bhaskaran as he is an yogi. From that point onwards, we both connected. Initially, I was not able to believe the version what he was telling, because we were in a different state of mind, a different understanding. Yes, I the Chief Grievance Officer on the place, I learned only on the gravitational pull, and also I experienced only on the gravitational pull. Even though it is எங்க தாத்தா எங்க பாட்டி இவங்கெல்லாம் சொன்ன கதை, there was Mahabharatam, Ramayanam, and we have lot of epics, and there are lot of stories on Ravana and his flight and all, and it was just a glimpse to me, and I thought it is something on God's grace, some Chu Mantragali will go and things will go. But when Dr. Kannan explained to me about the gravitation, anti-gravitation, the gravitation within the molecule, the gravitation within the mass, object, the gravity within the molecule by nucleus, and the space, how the materials are moved, how the force is acted, how the body is attracted and body is moved. And it is totally a different concept, how water flows. Not able to understand clearly. Then I told, sir, you please wait. It is partly believable, partly non-believable. I don't know clearly about it, but I have to study a lot on this. From that period, I think it is 2019. Yeah, it is 2019 where we both got connected. I don't know, it may be on the spiritual nature, because his guru is not an ordinary person. He is a master of arts. So for me, I also, since I did my yoga since my age of 6, and my parents, my grandfather, I have been taught a lot of things, and I was closely associated with the Aravind Ashram, which is nearby to my house. And also since I was more impressed, and there is the symbol of the Sri Aurobindo, and I started learning deep into the signal and the version. In addition, I have already gone through the versions of different big saints, and finally understood Veda is nothing but the decryption or the message left out by our heritage to us, so that we need not spend time on that. The Indus Valley civilization prescribes on 4 Veda, Rig, Atharvana, Samaveda, which is a way of life. So as per the Indus Valley civilization, the way of life is the yogic way of life, which we interact with the Panchabhuta. So likewise, the Veda of Romans is a Bible, which the Christians follow. Likewise, the Veda of Muslims, the Islamic, it's called Quran. So all Vedas are the descriptions, decrypted by the saint, sadhus of the respective people to their heritage. So when those things were studied in light with the assistance of the findings of of Dr. Kannan, and also the findings of Sri Aurobindo, Sri Vivekananda, so it was very clear that all this religion and then the race are nothing but the vehicles to travel, the media of traveling. But the space is totally different. This also represents two triangles meeting each other. One is the brain and the other is the heart. If the heart is really focusing on the brain, then the oneself with this heart is purely touching the brain by curtailing the sense organs. Or the heart should be filled and it should reach the brain. Automatically, if we feel that we are divine, automatically brain drives us towards. Subconscious brain is nothing but whatever taught to us, whatever we have learnt from the childhood till this age, all are stored in our brain. So the subconscious brain is a processor which plugs out management of information system. So likewise, these Jagat Gurus have been telling various things which they have experienced. So the oneself has to reach his brain through his heart, so that active brain he can go and reach his subconscious brain, and from subconscious brain he has to reach the unconscious brain, that is the Savanilai. Any priest who is being, meditation, these are all the words which we use, that are different, the words which are using, we should not take in a simple way. Whatever the language is different from everything. The chemistry language is different from physics language is different from the biology language, the Tamil language is different from Telugu different. So in each language, every word means differently. So likewise here, meditation, concentration, are all mostly we compare each other. Here it is nothing that focusing the heart towards the brain to reach the subconscious brain. From the subconscious brain, we have to reach the unconscious brain. That is, we should become unconscious, so that from the unconscious we can go to the superconscious. This is the main theory which has been put forward. So that as per Vedanta Maharishi, we can reach the universe. So as per the universe, as per Dr. Kannan, what he told, in the universe, the mass is only some small percentage, whereas the black space is the more than 70%. It is true. The people who have reached such thing, heart to conscious to subconscious to unconscious to superconscious. They only can see this space. So these Jagat Gurus have already reached those places and identified there the formula which our Kannan Jagadishan has been, the Kannan Jagatala Krishna has obtained. That is E is equal to mw square. I think I missed somewhere else. The same thing it is. It is mostly reliable and tends to be acceptable. Where the entire celestial movements, as per the Hindu Veda, we are having the scale and we are having our calendar. We are having the Panchangam. In that Panchangam, we have calculated on the one solar world. But it has been told that there are 7 into 7, 49 14 solar worlds. We are focusing on our solar world, where the calculation which pertains, which has been absorbed by those people, are till just calculated and replaced for every year. And based on the calculation, the whatever forecast is being identified is purely reflected. So, in the space, there is a force where see the sun, see the moon, and those things are wide apart as per our knowledge, because we ourselves cannot see the sun. There's a very long space. But those people have reached the space and examined where things are there. See, those things are revolving around the sun in a particular force. There, as per the object is concerned, earth, sun, whatever it may be, they are having their own gravitational pull and containing and restraining the thing in a mass. Likewise, the space has its own gravity and hold this thing. So, the space occupation, the space pulling, and these things are only replacement of energy from a place to the other. So, the type of research which has been explained by Mr. Kannan is somewhat, I feel it is acceptable. And the way he attempts to explain the events are also very nice. And accordingly, I had an opportunity that Mr. Kannan, while working as a director for academic and research in Dhanalakshmi Srinivasan group of institutions, he invited me for the sessions. The first session is on the cyber, because I was holding the subject cyber and control room and other things. Likewise, I met that Dhanalakshmi Srinivasan group head, Mr. Srinivasan. See, he is a person who had not had a good education, but his willingness, interest, involvement and dedication to make his society to get educated had made him to expand his wings to the bigger thing. And that was identified by Mr. Kannan. And he told me about his activities. Then immediately I went to and attended this thing. And likewise, this E is equal to mw square formula, where he is focusing the science of the 21st century. It's called new science. But really what I feel, it is not a new science. It is an ancient science. Because the Ravana and the others, they used the flight. At that time, whether they had fuel, I don't know. I don't have any idea about the fuel or industry, how they extracted. But things were done. They flew, it is true. So all these ambience and the existing, the infrastructure and the geographical status proves their existence, and people believe. So not only that, the Ravana was having his, house on a big rock which is around some 260 meters, big stone. But in the upper layer, he had his own swimming pool. There, the physics, you understand the physics, what he had. He had drilled a hole, see how ordinary drilling on a small wood is difficult. Now he had drilled a hole in the 260-meter length stone, rock, and then made an hydraulic system connecting the hole to the river. And the river is of two types. One is, so we should not go on, but there are two types of river in which he had maintained the level of his swimming pool. Even during rainy season it will not rise, and even during summer it will not dry down. The level is maintained. So how the science was advanced in those days, he had felt that and detected the flow of river. Accordingly, he had made an hydraulic system, natural hydraulic system, no power system was used. But really, what was the technique they used, I don't know. But now, Dr. Kannan, who is exploring on the anti-gravity, we had a discussion, and during the discussion he had also experienced, and we discussed on the existence of Ravana and the existence of his kingdom and how the technology was there during his period. So I hereby really appreciate Mr. Kannan and the thesis and today's topic, building blocks of living being, up quarks, not cells. How death occurs will be explained in the keynote presentation. See, this is a very, this thing. I hereby salute all the participants and the dignitaries on the dais on the same, and I really I submit my sorry because since my father has died, I could not able to come there, and this Saturday is the 7th day, so kindly make a prayer to my father's soul, and I hereby thank Mr. Kannan Jagdishan and also the other guest, Dr. Annamalai or Murugesan, and other people for providing an opportunity to speak in this session. And if any question and answers is there, I am ready to answer. Thanks for the opportunity given. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir, for your presence, remarkable words for lighting our minds today. The moment we have been waiting for is here, a moment where mystery meets clarity, where life and death are no longer opposites, but equations waiting to be understood. It is an honor beyond once to welcome a mind that does not just study science, he redefines it. A visionary theoretician, a profound and cosmologist whose ideas courageously walk into zones where science rarely dares to go. With heartfelt honor, I humbly invite our very own student, proud Antonian, Dr. Kannan Jagadala Krishnan, to deliver his keynote lecture and illuminate us with the science behind the unseen dimensions of life. Please, sir.
My warm salutations to my Guru Vedatri Maharshi and my professors, Dr. Emeritus Professor Akhtar Kalam and Senior Professor Satyamurthy Mahalingaya and the chief guest here. And first I thank the commandant of the MRC for accepting my invitation. Especially, I have to thank the St. Anthony School. I am the student of St. Anthony School. And secondly, St. Anne's, and also CSA staff. I worked in CSA Engineering College. Staffs have represented here. And my guru who was teaching me tuition, she is here. And I also have to thank her. Her name is Saraswati. And without you people, today I am not here. And again, I'm telling my salutations and I will start my speech. And also for the community, my community is represented here. And they gave a chance for me to present earlier as well. And my topic today is not the E is equal to mc squared definition for physics for 21st century and beyond. See, because many people are new today and most of the people have not attended my last session, for 10 to 15 minutes, I will just explain my previous presentation and then I will come to the main part, how death occurs, and scientifically we will see today, and it is a big challenge by the medical people, doctors, as well as the physicists. So I will make it very simple and everyone can understand and the fact, and this is the truth, and you will understand while leaving this session. Firstly, let me tell what about gravity. Let us assume there are 4 balls in front of me. In case if I push the ball in the forward, it moves in the forward direction. If I push to the left, it goes to the left. If I push to the right, it goes to the right. I need energy to push. Without energy, can I push? It is highly impossible. Secondly, for example, if I am standing in the middle and 3 people are standing around me and without any gap, and second circle if they make 5 people, third circle 7, and so forth, if there are 100 people pushing me equally, what will happen to me? I will get crushed and I will get squeezed and I will try to expel out. Here I am expelling out because people are pushing me. If nobody pushes me, what happens? I can stay as long as I can. Here comes Divyatri. Actually, he is not a philosopher for me. He is a great scientist. Today is the day. I believe this speech will reach the world and he will be recognized. He discovered only very simple thing, 4 concepts. For as an example, let us assume there are no objects in the universe. Just imagine there are no objects in the universe. That was his first discovery. That means space. Space is nothing but defined as self-compressive surrounding pressure force. Can we stop the earth for a second? Is it possible to stop the earth for a second? Can we stop the star for a second? It is highly impossible. Same way, how people are pushing me equally from all direction, the same way space is pushing the object on 360 degree and direction and angles. That is why all the objects are moving. Newton told gravity is pull. Earth is pulling us. But Vedatari discovered not only the mass is acting on the space and the space is also acting on mass. For example, if you see here, as I told you, if one person is standing in the middle, what happens? If everyone are pushing, the object will move. So if I'm standing in the middle, the quality of the space is pushing itself, and the first stage of the universe. Just understand this 4 concept, then I will give my speech. You will clearly understand what the real universe, how it works. And one person is expelling out. When is expelling out, is it possible to go to the 100 or 50th or 70th circle? It is highly impossible because people are pushing him. Either he can go to the first or second. This is the first stage of the universe. The space is compressing itself and the same space is expelled. And this is known as God particle. This particle cannot be further divided. You have to understand, when we come to the building blocks of the human body, if anything can be further divided, then means that is not the building blocks. If here, a fraction of space is not further divided. So that is known as the God particle. That is today we have discovered as quark. And today the biggest experiment in Switzerland, CERN, it is only supporting my theory, but people still didn't understand that And if you see all the physics, major experiments physics will be supporting only the superstandard model, not any other model which is existing today. So the second stage is, what is happening? If I am expelled out, I cannot go to 50th, 30th or 40th. Only I will be rotating in the second or third circle. Because people keep on pushing me, right? The quality of space is, it's keep on compressing itself. So it's never stop. What happens if space does not push the Earth? Can we say, as I told you, we can't even stop 1 second. We can't stop the Earth. Can we stop? Can we stop the sun? What happens if it stops? Any time or any day, if Earth stops for 1 second, that means Earth collapses. Completely Earth collapses, and only there will be empty space. Now here, what is the difference between Newton? What is the difference between Einstein? And what is the difference between Veda-3's theory, what I'm presenting now? We three of us have to give only one answer. For example, see here, Newton told gravity is pull. But Einstein disproved Newton. How he disproved? Because Einstein discovered the light will reach the Earth. It takes 8 minutes and 20 seconds. As per Newton, gravity is pull. Instantly, gravitational force is instant, it is pulling. But Einstein discovered by the time the light reaches, when the sun collapses, what is Newton's answer? When sun collapses, what Einstein is saying, and when sun collapses, what is my theory? You will decide which is right within the next 10-15 minutes. Newton told, when sun collapses, instantly, gravitational force, all the remaining planets will be moving in a straight line. Immediately, instantly. But Einstein discovered it takes 8 minutes, 20 seconds for the light to reach the Earth. So definitely, gravitational, it is not a force. And Einstein disproved Newton. And what Einstein told, that means when the sun collapses, gravitational waves are discovered, and the gravitational waves take 8 minutes, 20 seconds to reach the Earth. Till that time, Earth will not able to understand the sun is collapsed. So after 8 minutes and 20 seconds, all the planets will take the straight line from their position. This is how Einstein disproved Newton. And I'm asking you one question in a simple way. See here, this is a dam wall. Let us assume there is a wall and water coming from 2 kilometers. When the water is coming from 2 kilometers, let us assume the water which is hitting the wall is a positive force, and the water which is hitting and coming back will be the negative force, right? So, will the water will hit the wall and go back 2 kilometers? It will go only a few meters, right? Maybe 5 or 10 meters. What happens if I take the wall? If I take the wall, the water will be moving only one direction. Will there be any disturbance? There will not be disturbance. What Einstein says, when sun collapses, there will be a disturbance and gravitational waves will be formed. Is it true or false? What I am telling, when sun collapses, there will not be any disturbance, and automatically, like how water is flowing in one direction, right? Automatically, there is no disturbance. What happens when there is a wall? Water is hitting and coming back for a few meters. The distance, what happens? Which will be stronger? The water which is approaching towards the wall, or the water which is coming back? The water which is approaching towards the wall. The water which is coming back will not be stronger because the water is already the positive force, it will give an obstacles. So what happens at one stage, it becomes zero. It keep on decreasing. Now tell me, same way, there is a light. Electrons are flowing from one direction to the other direction. There is a tungsten. If there is no tungsten, what will happen to the electrons? They will be moving in a very high speed. But because of the tungsten, it is giving very high pressure. See now, electrons are still moving. Tungsten is still alive. At the same time, one of the event is light. Third event is light. So now tell me, light is moving in the negative direction. First is the repulsive force. Light is moving in the negative direction, Can the light be constant? Now we have E is equal to mc squared. C is constant. When the light is moving in the negative direction, the intensity of the light keep on decreasing. At one stage it becomes 0. Now tell me, Einstein's equation E is equal to mc squared is right, or my equation E is equal to mw squared, where W is nothing but a negative force. Only the space. The space is defined as self-compressive surrounding pressure force. It's only moving in the one direction. Because something is there, it's coming back. Same way, the God particle which is expelled out, if the God particle is not expelled, what will happen? The space will be moving only one direction. Because of the particle is expelled out, the space is moving in the negative direction. Because of the friction, what happens? Third event is light. Light is only an event. So light cannot be traveling at constant speed. So E is equal to mc squared. You tell me whether it is right or wrong. This is my simple example. I made every layman to understand how the universe works. The universe is working only on 4 principles. Just understand these 4 concepts. First concept is, just imagine there are no objects in the universe. That means there will be empty space. The quality of the empty space is keep on compressing itself. That means I'm standing in the middle, people are standing and pushing. That is the quality of space. Because of the pushing, what happened? I'm expelling out. That means a fraction of space is expelled out. When it expels, what happens? Negative force started. The same positive force comes in the negative direction. So when it comes in the negative direction, this is known as repulsive force, and you understand this is known as electron. And this is only magnetism. I am an engineer, but when I went to PhD after doing my MTech, I don't know ABCD in electrical or in or electricity and magnetism. But now I'm happy that I've taken PhD in electrical engineering, because I'm defining, now there is no definition for electricity as well as magnetism. Magnetism is nothing but when the water is heating and coming back, the distance where both waters flowing into 2 directions. Same way in the space, there is a positive force and the negative force. Wherever there is a positive and negative force, this is known as magnetism, and that is defined as dark energy, which the world is struggling to find the definition of dark energy now. The dark energy is nothing but the area or the volume covered by self-compressive surrounding pressure force as well as the repulsive force. This is known as dark energy. And wherever there is only dark matter, that means only self-compressive force, one particular force, this is known as dark matter, which we already named dark matter as Vedan and dark energy as Satyan. And while doing this research, and I have to thank my professor, Akhtar Kalam. Yes. Okay, see here. The first discovery was global warming impact. Just understand this. The whole universe you'll be able to understand. And if you see here, water, the earth is 3/4 of water and 1/4 of land, right? And what is global warming impact? When the water level increases due to carbon dioxide from industries, from vehicles, from cutting trees, from production of cement industries, there are 10 different sources. The carbon dioxide emission increases, right? When the carbon dioxide increases, what is happening? The earth becomes heated up. When the sunlight is heating and going back, the water is getting heated up, and the carbon dioxide again traps the remaining heat, and the level of water slowly increases. What happens when we make a cup of tea? The water level initially increases. After some time, it becomes warm gas, and only steam will come after some time. But initially, what happens? The level will increase. Same way, if gravitational force is true, if gravity is pulling, and when the gravity can pull 500 to 1,000 meters of building, when the gravity can pull billions and billions of weight of and tons of buildings, mountains, why can't that gravity pull maybe 2 or 3 mm of water? Tell me. When the water level increases, gravity is pulling, right? If gravity is true, when the gravity can pull this building, When the gravity can pull the human being of 50 kgs to 100 kgs, why can't that gravity pull 2 or 3 centimeter of water? Why the water is coming to the land? Because the space is pushing equally on 360-degree angle and direction. For example, listen, now the earth is taking exactly 365 days, right? Has the earth taken at least 1 year, 200 days to complete? Has the earth taken at least 1 year, 400 days to complete? What happens, as I told you, what happens we push our object and push in the forward direction, it go in the forward. What happens we push to the left, it goes to the left. What happens we push to the right, it goes to the right. Right? So if the object is moving in the same path, what will be the solution? Only possible way is the space has to give equal pressure on all 360 degree and angle and right. Am I right? Only then the earth can move in the same path, isn't it? So now tell me, earth is pulling or space is pushing? Earth is pulling or space is pushing? Space is pushing. Now tell me, Newton's gravity, which is pull, is right, or Vedatri's philosophy, which I am bringing into scientific field, pushing is right? Tell me, pull or push? Push. So now we clearly understood how the universe works. I only gave a few minutes of talk because I want you to understand the next part. My main part here today is to talk about the building blocks of living beings is cells. I want to prove that cell is not the building block and quarks is the only building block. After that, I will explain 4 points. Finally, the 4th point will be how death occurs scientifically today we will understand. So can you please change the presentation slide? Thank you. Change. I want to change it. Okay. No, let me finish and you can talk. Once I finish, you can have all questions. So second topic is, as I told you, see now, organism, right? The human beings. Human beings are made up of what? Organ systems. Organ systems, organs, then comes tissues, then comes cells, then comes organelles, then from organelles we go to molecules, from molecules we go back to atoms. Till here, medical doctors have completely studied and they are doing research till atoms. But still I didn't understand what made them to stop at atom level, and no doctors have interested to go beyond. Atoms are further made up of quarks. There are 6 types of quarks, but there are only 2 stable quarks. One is up quarks and another one is down quarks. So I don't know what made the medical doctors to stop doing research from atoms to down quarks and from down quarks to up quark. Once if they have made this research, today everyone would have known how death occurs, because the medical field stopped at cells and physics are not interested to study about cells. This is the only problem why there is a problem, and I will explain here. As I told you, organism, next organ systems, organs, tissues, cells, and again from cells we have organelles, molecules, and from molecules to atoms, from atoms to down quarks. And the only problem here is people don't understand, medical doctors don't do research on down quarks and up quarks, and physicists does not do research on the cells and beyond cells. This is the only problem. Actually, rather than going from the organism to tissues or from up quarks, we have to start from the space, as I told you initially. Space is pushing, right? What is the first object? First object, because of the compression of the space, up quark is expelled. For example, when you all are pushing me equally, what will happen to me? I will get crushed, squeezed, and I'm expelling out, right? So when I'm expelling out, what happens? Again, the space is pushing, negative force is started, right? Okay, same way, will Earth and Sun will hit each other at any time? will all the planets and the sun will hit each other at any time? We have crossed 2025 years. Highly impossible. Because the reason is, when you hit the water in the wall and the water is coming back, the same water which is coming in the negative direction, make sure that they don't hit each other. Because every object, when the space is pushing, a negative force is generated, both negative forces meet each other and make sure that they don't touch each other. Same way, the first discovery, the God particle is known as the up quark. After up quark, there are only up quarks inside an atom, inside a proton, inside a neutron. If you see, there are, as per science today, inside proton, there are 2 up quarks and 1 down quark, and inside neutron, there are 2 down quarks and 1 up quark. And what happens here, if there is 1 proton, we tell them as hydrogen. When there are 2 protons and 2 neutrons, we call them as helium. When there are protons increases by 6, 7 nitrogen, 8 oxygen, 6 carbon, only here the proton and neutron increasing, right? We are only changing the name. When we have 1 proton, what we call as hydrogen. When we have 1 proton, 1 neutron, the isotope is known as deuterium. And when we have 2 proton and 2 neutron, we call them as helium. But only the name changes. But what protons and neutrons will it change? So what is inside protons? Only quarks. Inside proton, there are 2 up quarks and 1 down quark. Inside neutron, there are 2 down quarks and 1 up quark. Now tell me, when you keep on increasing the proton and neutron, you keep on changing the name, right? Then, when you go back to the molecules, and after molecules you tell cells, and if you see cells, the cells are made up of, 99% of the cells are made up of only 6 elements: carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur, and phosphorus. In the 6, only atoms, protons, and electrons are varying, right? What is inside protons and electrons? Quarks. Tell me, quarks is the building blocks of the human being or object, or the cells is the building block of human beings or object? You tell me now. And the proton is, 99% of the proton is empty space, and only 1% is quarks, right? The 3 quarks, which is equal to 2 up quarks and 1 down quark, is equal to only 1%. And remaining, the empty space, 99% of the proton is empty space. Same way, in the neutron, what is the difference between proton and neutron is, if there are 2 up quarks and 1 down quark, you tell them as a proton. If there are 2 down quarks and 1 up quark, then you tell it as a neutron. So actually, there are only 4 quarks inside proton. Actually, there are 5 up quarks inside neutron, because what happens when a person is expelling out, the same space will make them to combine. Like how the earth and sun will never hit each other, like how the other planets will not hit the sun, same way 2 up quark will never hit each other. They will be at very close level, but they will never touch each other because they point like structures and they are spinning again. Can you tell me I asked the great scientist of Tamil Nadu, I asked him one question: can you tell me what is the cause for the spinning action of planets? And he was not able to answer. He told that we will discuss and we will do a research. Mailsami Annodurai, when he came to Dhanalakshmi Group of Institution, he is the leading scientist of Tamil Nadu as well as India. He was the former director. We had 2 days, we had one whole night, we had a discussion about this theory. And in open stage, when he is giving a lecture, I asked him, can you please explain what is the cause for the spinning action of the planets? The same way, if there are 99% of atom is empty space and only 1% is quarks, that means if the quarks is moving, who is pushing them to move? The space is pushing the object, right? Earth, the space is pushing. So when the space is pushing the earth, earth is moving in the elliptical path. Same way, 99% of the space is pushing the up quarks and making to combine down quark, because 2 up quarks is equal to 1 down quark. So technically, there are 4 up quarks inside protons and there are 5 up quarks inside neutrons, right? So if number of protons increases, if the number of neutrons increases, what is going to increase? number of quarks. But only we are giving a different name. But the concept is the same. Proton is proton, neutron is neutron. Inside they only have quarks. So building blocks of living beings cannot be cells. It's highly impossible. Even in cells, 99% of cells are nothing but, as I told you, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur and phosphorus. And everyone having only atoms and protons and neutrons. And inside only quarks. So are you clear about this? So now you see here. As I told you, protium, there are 4 up quarks. Deuterium, there are 9 up quarks, because one proton is equal to 4 up quarks, and one neutron is equal to 5 up quarks. So when you keep on adding, there are only up quarks inside any proton, any neutron, even any cell or any human body, even Earth. Finally, if you split, you will see only up quarks. Look at here. See here. Up quark, actually there are 2 up quarks which is known as down quark. And here again, there are 2 up quarks which is known as down quark, but actually they are not meeting each other. They are point-like particles, and in physics, they tell that there are 2 up quarks and 1 down quark in a proton, and there are 2 down quarks and 1 up quark in the neutron. But technically, if you see there are only 1 up quark inside, there are 5 up quarks inside neutron, and there are 4 up quarks inside proton. And when you keep on multiplying, then you can see, as I told you, it is highly impossible for the planets to hit each other. Same way, 2 up quarks will never hit each other. They are very closely connected by the space, the compressing force. That is why when 2 up quarks join together, they called as a down quark. That means only name changes, but they are not hitting each other. They are very closely connected because of the space. Now tell me, when we come to the proton, okay, this is what about the cells. As I told you, 99% of cells are made up of hydrogen, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, phosphorus and sulfur, and only 1% are made up of molecules inorganic as well as trace elements. So trace elements, all these 20 elements, key elements, make only 1%, remaining 99% only the 6 elements. Now if you see here, okay, now I'm directly coming to this particular part. In chemistry and physics today, one proton cannot be converted into neutron. Only inside a nucleus, if the proton is there, quarks can be shared. If you take one free proton, at any cost, proton cannot be converted into neutron. But one neutron can be converted into proton. Because if you see here, there are 5 up quarks in the neutron, and which is converted into 4 in the proton. There are only 4 up quarks, and remaining what happened? Only electron has been expelled out. Now tell me, there are 5 up quarks was there when inside the neutron, and now it has become 4. What happened to 1 up quark? I want the scholars to analyze. There are 5 up quarks in neutron and 4 up quarks inside proton. When converting 5 up quarks into proton, 4 up quarks are existing. And the result is only electrons and repulsive force, right? What happened to that 1 up quark? The same way what I told you, when the water is hitting the wall and coming back, because there is an object, the water is hitting and coming back. What happens if you take the wall? The water will be flowing in one direction. Same way, what happened here, when it's converting into proton, the water which is coming in the negative direction, this is nothing but electrons. That is the result what we got as electron and antineutrino. This is nothing but the negative force. Positive force is known as self-compressive force, and negative force is known as repulsive force. So what happens here, you can see that neutron can be, a free neutron can be converted into a proton, but the proton cannot be converted into neutron because proton is more stable when you have 2 up quarks and 1 down quark. That means if you have 4 quarks, it is stable. When you have 5 quarks, one particular down quark will be unstable. Because of the unstable, what happens? One quark has lost. Where the quark has gone? Where the quark has gone? 99% of the proton or neutron, 99% is only empty space, and if you add all together, it's only 1%, and it is keep on compressing. Because of the compression, the quarks are moving in the elliptical path, but it's like a point like structure, you can't see it. Same way when the quark is moving, same way the earth is moving in the elliptical path, and it's also spinning. The spinning action for the quarks as well as the planets as well as the stars, nothing but because there is equal pressure on 360-degree angle and direction, equal pressure is equal to spinning action of quarks, proton, neutron, earth, star. This is single principle. So what happens here, because of the compression, instability, one quark dissolves in space. Just imagine the 100% is black. Because of the compression, one particular space is evolved. Because of the evolution, what happens? Again, there is a negative force. If there is no quark, what will happen? There is no negative force. If there is no wall, what happens? The water will not come back. And if there is no wall, water will not come back. If there is no quark, there will be no negative force. Now, what happens is, one particular quark has died because of the instability. Because of the instability, neutron is converted into proton. One quark, what happens? It again, for example, there will be a stone wheel. I want to make the knife sharp. What will happen? The spark will go and merge with space, isn't it? Within a fraction of a second. Einstein's important concept is light will never die. If light will never die, what happens to the spark? For example, if I'm emitting a spark here and it has to cross US, will it cross? Within a fraction of a second, it merges with the space and becomes space. Same way, the quark here has merged with the space, and what happens? The space again becomes, space is 100%, isn't it? Can you change the space? Today there was a Nobel Prize was given to James Peebles during the year 2019 for discovering there are 5%, less than 5%, 4.6% is objects, and 95% is empty space. Now tell me, what I am telling here is, objects can be only 1%. Can it be 5% inside? The same concept. Every human body is made up of, for example, if up quark is 5, neutron is 5 up quarks, and if you take one carbon atom up quarks will be more. If you take a human beings, only up quarks will be more, maybe trillions. But the concept is only up quarks are more and more, and up quarks will die. Okay, so in that case, if in a proton only 1% is up quarks, 99% is empty space, then in the universe, can 5% objects will be possible? It is highly impossible for the objects to be 5%. I am declaring in my paper that in the universe, only 1% is objects and remaining 99% is empty space. This is the new concept which I am writing in this paper, which will be published next week. I will send to everyone. As today, there are 5% of objects and there are 95% of empty space, and in future, there will be only 1% of objects and 99% are empty space. If that is 5% is true, you have to prove here. There are 4 quarks. The 4 quarks cannot comprise 5%. So next one is, the next experiment. It's not working. Can you just do it. The next slide. The next one is known as, this is known as beta minus decay. Next is known as alpha decay. In the alpha decay, what happens? One helium atom, which having 2 protons and 2 electrons, will come out from the parent element or molecule. For example, initially, if you take uranium-235, and if you calculate the mass, after decay of the alpha particle, you will get thorium, and you will get energy. What happens to the energy is, the parent molecule as well as the daughters must be equal, isn't it? For example, if I am 50 kgs, and if I divide it into 2, one is 40 kgs, another one is 10 kgs. But actually, in the experiment, what happens is, in the uranium molecule 235, and the total mass, parent mass, will be automatically less after decay of the helium molecule. Finally, what happens is, some energy is lost, and nobody knows why it is lost. Nothing happens because this merges with the space and becomes space. So what happened to that particular thing? And in the Large Hadron Collider, this is the biggest experiment in the universe. The biggest experiment, now what they are doing is, they are smashing thousands of protons together in the Large Hadron Collider. So what is inside proton? There are quarks, isn't it? What should be the result? Tell me. There are scholars here. Inside proton, there are only quarks, and thousands and thousands of quarks are being smashed together to get the results. What will be the results? You will get quarks, or you will get something else. You have a proton, you have an electron around the proton. Is any electron inside proton? So once you smash the proton, what should be the result? Quarks or electrons? Quarks. But the result is only electrons are coming out. Because as I told you, every quark inside, when the space is pushing and it is negative forces generated, right? All the negative force what is generated is nothing but electrons. So first person to discover, there are 4 electrons inside a proton and 5 electrons inside a neutron. The big theory clearly supports my theory, the big experiment. As I told you, I am writing a theory. Nowadays, what should you have to do? For example, if you are a theorist, theoretical physicist, or a cosmologist, you suggest a theory. And when you suggest theory, it has to be validated by experiments. When they're validated by experiments, after that, when the world accepts it, then only you will get a Nobel Prize. So what I am telling here is, I have written a proverb. There is no problem in the experimental physics. The problem is only in the theoretical physics, failing to understand the theory in the right way. So that particular experiment, when protons are collided, when a bunch of protons are collided, the result are nothing but you're getting electrons and neutrinos. So because there are negative force, and same technique will apply for Earth. Again, when the space is pushing the Earth, again a negative force is generated. And whenever the negative force is not generated, what will happen is, automatically the Earth get collapsed. There will be death. So what happens if Earth does not move for 1 second? We will be available here? We will not be available. So same way, for example, if there are 1 proton, you call it hydrogen. If there are millions of protons, we call it an organism, right? So what happens to this body? Who is holding this body? Earth is moving. Earth is so much of, comparing to the human being, you compare to the Earth. Okay, when the space can give pressure, tremendous pressure to the Earth, and the same space is giving pressure to us, it's only holding all the quarks together. When it's holding the quarks together, now tell me, what is life force or soul? We call it Uyir, isn't it, in Tamil? Tell me what is life force or what is soul? Who is binding the quarks? Space is binding the quarks. And inside quark, there are 99% space and only 1% fraction of space. Because of that, a negative force is generated. If negative force can generate, and the whole human body is being holded by space, isn't it? Same space. So now we clearly understood up quarks is the building blocks. The same body is attracted, compressed by space. How death occurs, let us assume as an accidental death. The same way when protons are hit by electrons, protons hit in the Switzerland by 2 experiments. And what happens? The result is only negative electrons. So what happened to that space? What happened to that proton quarks there? It is nothing happened. What happened? The quarks which is holding it, it becomes space because there is 100% space. So same way, when we have an accidental death, what happens? The soul, our soul is nothing but the space is holding all the quarks. And when the space is holding all the quarks, when we have a smash in as an accident, the space will try to expel out. So this is the accident or spot out, what we call it. And we have only 2 more deaths. Accident death, we have death by age and also death by sick. For example, here is an accident. And here what happens when there is an accident? The quarks, the protons will get smashed. When they get smashed, the self-compressive force is always constant. That will never differ. Space is always constant. The only quarks what we have, the protons what we have in a body, that differs. So negative force, when there is a wall, they keep on negative force is generated. When there is no wall, what happens? Negative force cannot be generated. Same way, when there is an accident, when the quarks get disturbed, repulsive force is not generated. When it is not generated, the compressive force takes action and merge with the space. This is how scientifically the CERN experiment clearly proves for the accidental death. And if you see the helium particle, they are unstable, because when the helium is coming out from the parent element, from uranium, helium is coming out, it becomes thorium, and some electrons are merged with the space. So what happens here? Because of the instability, when there is a 2 up quark and 1 down quark, it will be more stable. Proton will be more stable. But in the neutron, it's always not stable, because 2 up quarks which has been compressed by the space, it becomes again another proton, and again electrons has been emitted and they merge with the space. These are the 3 experiments, if you can understand. Now, clearly we can understand that from the organism, when we come from the space, it's very clear. From the space, a fraction of space is expelled out. That particular is known as up quark, and that is known as the God particle. When 2 up quarks join together, they don't touch each other. That is known as down quark. If there are 4 up quarks inside, then we call it as a proton. If there are 5 up quarks, we call it as a neutron. If there are 2 proton, 2 neutron, we call it as a helium. If there are 6 protons, 6 electrons, 6 neutrons, we call it a carbon. 7, we call it nitrogen. But what is actually inside? Only quarks. So the building blocks of human beings is quarks or cell? Quarks, isn't it? So again, even if you take a non-living molecule, today, as per the theory, today's theory, it says that whether non-living has come from the living being has come from non-living or not. As per today's standard theory, there are many biologists here. Today's standard theory is cell does not come from non-living, right? It comes from pre-existing cell. Okay, pre-existing cell. And if it is coming from pre-existing cell, again, cell is nothing but 99% are only quarks, and 99% is only space. So origin is space, 99% is space, and how non-living and living is connected? Because from molecules, the first step is nucleotides. Nucleotides are nothing but carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and sulfur. So when these 5 combine together, nucleotides, first RNA is formed. And it is proved that DNA is formed after the RNA, as today's science. So first RNA is formed. The quality of RNA is it is having its own catalyst, ribozymes. And after that, more storage, RNA become joined together to make a DNA, but DNAs are not having any catalyst, right? The biologists are here. I'm witnessing them. And after that, what happens? DNA is formed. DNA needs proteins to catalyze. So again, the DNA, a segment of RNA or mRNA comes out, and again mRNA is there, and they join together to make proteins through tRNA, and first stage is proteins. So now we have single cell, multicellular cell. So as a human body, first bacteria is having a single cell, which is formed first, bacteria or human beings? Bacteria. So bacteria is having a single cell. And this bacteria DNA can float inside the cytoplasm, but not in the eukaryotes. So for the human being, multicellular, they have to have a enclosed structure. Okay. So what happens? First bacteria cell RNA is formed, then DNA, then through ribosomes proteins are formed. Then because today's science says the both prokaryotic cell engulfed another to form a eukaryotic cell. So after that, what has formed is mitochondria. In the lineage, we have endoplasmic reticulum, smooth, rough, and so on. Right. So first thing is from the non-living to living, and my paper clearly states that the living beings has come from the non-living beings, and there is a connection between non-living and living. And the first stage is RNA from nucleotides, and from RNA we got DNA, and from DNA we get protons and so forth. So this paper declares, when you can understand how quarks will be the fundamental building blocks, how protons and neutrons are not the building blocks, only quarks, then you can understand that how death occurs by having the simple 3 experiments. There are 5-6 experiments which I have not highlighted in this paper. I have made to make it very understand, because I am not a medical doctor, I am not a biologist. And when I talk, people will react because I am an engineer. So to make the school student understand, to make the first step, the readers and the other people to understand, see, you don't have to be a biologist, you don't have to be a medical doctor to prove what something there, because it is nothing like that. Every human being is equally potential. For example, if I am studying 5 years without a degree, if I study 5 years physics, I am a physicist or not? I don't have a degree, I don't have a license. So without people, without having a license, they are driving cars. But only thing is, you have to pay a fine. Same way, what happens, if I propose this theory, the fine is nothing but tomorrow they will call me as a mental person. So I am happy to accept it. So I have already accepted it, and I am happy to accept because I am not from your cluster. So I have given solution for the origin, for the physics, for the chemistry, for the biology, engineering, as well as medical science. As I told you, I given a new definition for the global warming, and I named the climate change as Akhtar Kannan change because my supervisor's name is Akhtar in science, so I have done it. So I made 3 experiments very clearly. There are few other experiments, and I will not explain at this stage. If you have any question, you can ask me from biologists or from anyone, whether quarks are right or wrong, or whether cells is right. You can give your comments, you can come here and also talk, or you can ask any questions, I will answer. Is there any questions regarding physics or regarding Einstein, Newton, or any other theory? Yes, please. Can you come here? Have a mic, and everyone can understand.
First, I will say I'm not a physicist, but I have a doubt. You said that the waters are not pulled by the gravitational force in the ocean, and there is a rise of water level during the global warming. My doubt is what happens where the certain conditions that ocean waters are pulled inside it. The levels are gone down in certain cases, and what aspect it is done, and what is the reason for the lowering the level of the ocean waters. One thing is that. And if we support this theory, what is the case of the tectonical plates which is under the revolving around the ocean? If it is pushing, as per this aspect, that space is pushing that object means, what happens to that plates, and what happens that conformational changes will be happening to that?
Thank you. It's a very good question, but I have already answered it. See, for example, let us take the Earth. We will answer it politely. Let us take the Earth. What is Earth made up of? Molecules and atoms. Only when you come to the living organism, we talk about organelles and cells. Beyond that, right? At Earth level, we talk only about molecules and atoms. What are molecules made up of? Atoms. What are atoms made up of? Protons, neutrons, electrons. What are further protons are made up of? Quarks. So what is here is, it is nothing, only the association of quarks, right? Earth is nothing but association of quarks. For example, for human body, there may be, example I'm telling, 1,000 quarks, up quarks. Maybe for Earth, we can put it 10,000, for an example, right? So the same space is compressing the Earth as well as the same space is compressing the human body. And there are carbon, there are hydrogen, these are the main 6 elements. So it becomes water. What is happening is, as I told you, when there is atmosphere level is different, the water gets inside. But at the core level, what happens, it is more heat only there. And for example, if you go to Sri Lanka and there are lots of glaciers, can you stop the earthquake for a minute? Is it possible to stop the earthquake? This is what happened in Australia. The Australian Prime Minister Julia Gillard have signed a contract with the US. So what happens is, for the global warming, they have taken a carbon sequestration project. What does that mean? When you have an earth, you dig the earth and you will inject all the carbon dioxide which is in the space from electricity, production of electricity, from what you call vehicles, from cement production. What happens is, they take the carbon dioxide, they will inject inside the earth. So what happened in Lake Nyas, there are evidence that a small leakage of carbon dioxide, 1,700 people died because of the leakage of carbon dioxide. We have to keep on monitoring the carbon dioxide. We have to make sure that they are not come to the earth, and we have to make sure that earthquake does not happen. And I raised a question, and I told, you made a big blunder, that because you are a scientist, top scientist in Australia, you have recommended the Prime Minister. Then, because you have recommended, the Prime Minister has taken that project. Why US has not conducted the project in US, why they have given to Australia? Because Australia in the middle, there is a desert. That doesn't mean that. What happens if there is a leakage of carbon dioxide? And I asked this question, and I asked, a person came to give the mic, I pushed him down purposely. The reason is to make them understand there is a push in the space. Okay, here 3/4 of water. What I am telling here is different from what you are asking. What I am telling, for example, you pour 1 cup of water and make a cup of tea. Initially, when you put a water, when it's heated, volume increases or decreases? Initially, water increases. Only if you keep on heating, it becomes steam and water level decreases after some time. So initially what happens, when the sunlight is hitting the earth and going back, these carbon dioxide gases in the atmosphere trap the sunlight again, make sure it does not go back, and again trap into the earth. It makes the earth warmer and warmer. When the earth is warmer, initially water level is going up. So if there is a gravity is true, it should pull, isn't it? That is my question. It has to pull inside so that the water should not come to the land. Tsunami must not occur. Flood does not occur. When the heat conditions are there, some of the water it will pull inside. See, my question is, when water level is outside, when gravity, if it is true, it should pull and it should not come to the land. So what happened? Next day, they kicked me from the conference. I was the 1 student out of 5 in Australia. Selected, I have all the evidences, I will send it to you. So I was selected, and $5,000 was given for attending that conference. Next day afternoon, they kicked me out from the college, from the conference, and they asked me to come. My professor called me. He told, I will pay you the ticket, but in next 3 hours, you have to come to Melbourne from Queensland. So what I have done is, I made a decision that one of my cousin was there from my village. I went to their house and stayed for 1 week. I don't want to go back to Melbourne, and I switched my mobile off. After 1 week, I went back to my professor, and he asked me what happened exactly. I asked these 2 questions, and they got frustrated, and the managers asked me to come and ask her apology in the first day evening. I went there, and I told CEO, look, your managers invited me to come and apologize you. I didn't come to apologize you. So I told, I am very strong in my concept, and I will never apologize you, and I came back. The next day, and they asked him to fire me from PhD. What will happen? And he gave me 5 minutes time. I will give you 2 options. I don't want to sack you from the PhD. At the same time, I can't keep you inside the PhD with me. I will give you 2 options. Either you write a statement within 5 minutes that I'm mentally retired, I don't know what happened because my godmother died. everyone are witnessing here. My supervisor, Guru's wife died. My supervisor came here for the funeral. Everyone are witnessing here. All people from meditation, they know that. And he told me to write, and I gave a email within 5 minutes. Because my godmother died, I am mentally unstable. I don't know what happened in the conference. So this email was sent to the CEO and to the other people, and I was criticized as mad inside the institution. Nobody knows outside. So what I have done is, I made a comment when I was invited by the Indian government, and I was given a speech in the Delhi, and Harshvardhan, former Union Minister, if you go and see the internet, they made it very clear, 2 Nobel Prize winners from foreign countries have to present. The third person, Kannan, only has to present. Only after Kannan, other directors and vice chancellors should present. You can go and see in the internet, is there. So when I presented, even you can, now the video is there. When I presented, I told very clearly that to help me, my professor asked me to write a letter that I'm mentally unstable. I am giving the speech in the Delhi, in the Indian Science Congress. The Hindu paper, he is listening, he is recording my call, and he is writing what I was presented. But he is making one small mistake at the end. Instead of telling that my professor wants to help me, he made me that unstable, I'm mentally unstable. He just misses one word, to help. So this particular newspaper news, at the heading it says, at Indian Science Congress, a Vedic rebel seeks physics glory. They never read about the title. The news was for half page. They never bothered about the half page news, which is given a positive comment on me. But they saw only the last 2 lines. And since 2019, I was criticized right from my village, right from the community, right from the state, that I am mentally unstable. I told, I thank you. Yesterday I gave a comment that many people helped me. I want to thank them only once. But who have criticized me, I want to humbly thank them twice, because they made me very strong to come here and tell that today, because of them only I am here. In case if they have never criticized me, I would have not have the guts to come and explain that how death occurs scientifically. Now I can sit and discuss with any medical doctors, any biologists, I'm ready. See, from cells, I don't want to discuss about cells. From cells till up quarks till space, I am ready to discuss, and I would like to explain you with many experiments how death occurs. See, for example, if one quark dies, we have multiple quarks. The death is the same, isn't it? If one proton dies, one neutron dies, the same concept must be for the human being. Will it be different? So this is the answer for you. When the space is pushing, the water comes to the land, because the water is increased. Because of this tsunami, because of this flood, and also because of the glaciers. Even in Sri Lanka, if there are many glaciers, if the water level increases, does not necessarily it has to impact only Sri Lanka, it can even impact Malaysia. Because of the glaciers, because of the position of the earth, because of the spinning, the water level can go to Malaysia and have an impact at Malaysia. Because not only it's doing a revolution, it's also spinning on its own. When it's spinning on its own, the water level, when the increase not particularly has to come on one particular place, it can go anywhere. If we can stop the earthquake, then it is fine, but highly impossible to stop the earthquake. And because of the pressure of the space, only global warming impact is there. Without pressure, there is no impact. And this is named as Akhtar-Kannan change. In future, after 21st century, climate change will be called as Akhtar-Kannan change. Any other questions? Yes, please.
வாழ்க வளமுடன் குரு வாழ்க குருவே துணை. I remember in the year 1990 when I was first time meeting Swamiji and we were discussing, the one person was asking, Swamiji, your knowledge is so in depth, it is so profound, we should do this, we should do that, a lot of things needs to be done. And he was smiling and he was mentioning that don't worry, don't be tensed. காலத்தால் அவர் சொன்ன இதே வார்த்தை, கவலைப்படாதீங்க, ரொம்ப டென்ஷன் எடுக்க வேண்டாம். காலத்தால் நிறையா படித்தவங்க இதை ஆராய்ச்சி பண்ணி இதை உலக அளவுக்கு எடுத்துகிட்டு பண்ணுவாங்க அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு he was mentioning. So now when hearing this thing, really it is amazing. The work done by Mr. Kannan It is really amazing. And moreover, the recognition what society is giving here, the elders of the society have come, the great from the Indian Army they have come. The school is celebrating the alumni of his efforts. So this is because whatever the critics, what Kannan was mentioning, that has happened not only to him. Right from Galileo to Socrates, it has happened. No great people were appreciated immediately. I am from the field of psychology. Whatever he said, I just wanted to connect one thing, that whatever we had seen is because of the pressure from the space, everything is rotating. So when rotating, that repulsive force and attractive force is happening. And there is an saying, if you want to understand everything is in this universe, first you should understand everything about yourself. And once if you understand everything about yourself, there is nothing to understand anything in the universe. This is an saying. Same thing, whatever he said, that repulsive and attractive force, that applies at mind level for us. That is called involvement and detachment. Today, the biggest subject in Japan is management by detached involvement. Both are required, but we do not know this thing. When we attach in anything, we do not know how to detach from that. This is even simple addiction. If you start taking cigarette, or if you are taking alcohol, from that negative thing, even the positive aspect in the business. Today, most of the occupational disease, the lifestyle disease, it is earlier whatever the diabetic, BP, whatever it is there, coming after 60, 70, now it is coming from 30. It is because we do not know how to detach from each and everything what we do. This detachment at the cosmos level as a repulsive and attractive force, at the individual level, at the personal level, this is an important thing which we can connect to our human beings itself. This I wanted to share. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. See, just I want to recap. As I told you, this is the CERN experiment in Switzerland. They are colliding thousands, bunches of protons. And inside proton, we have studied there are only 2 up quarks and 1 down quark. And when they smash, the result should be only protons or quarks, isn't it? But next, sir, please next slide. The result is nothing but you get only electrons and neutrinos. What is electron is nothing but when the space is taking the negative direction, the same space when hitting the object and coming back, that is nothing but electrons. Because there are 100% space. Space cannot be 50 or 60. Everywhere there is universe. Space is 100%. Only when it's expelling out a small fraction, the negative force starts. And that negative force is nothing but electrons. And when you hit bunch of protons, what happens? Only the result is electrons. As my discovery, this is supporting my discovery, what I've discovered is there are 4 electrons inside protons and 5 electrons inside neutrons. So this is clearly supporting me down the track, and this is my last lecture, and I'm not going to do any more research, and my duty is to only make sure this 2 papers and 2 lectures what I have done, and I will send to all the universities, 400 top universities in the world. After this, let the world decide whether this is the fact or this is the truth. And one day they have to give an answer for what is dark matter. They have to answer what is dark energy. They have to answer how death occurs. They have to answer what is the building blocks of living beings. They have to answer what is the building block of non-living beings and how the living being and non-living being is connected. It may take 1 year, or it may take 10 years, or it may take even 2 years. So finally they will come here, and definitely I will tell that this theory will have a big transformation very soon, and this is the fact. And simple, in 4 words, I want to finish. The first stage of the universe is only space, which is having its quality of space is self-compressing, it's compressing itself. And the first stage is the fraction of space is evolved. When the fraction of space is evolved, this is known as God particle, which is up quarks. And after that, again, because of the same space, 2 up quarks join together, they does not touch each other. Like how planets does not touch the Earth, Sun, and Mercury will never touch the Earth will never touch the Sun. Same way, only up quarks are looking very close, but they are not touching each other. So inside proton, there are 4 up quarks. Inside neutron, there are 5 up quarks. And the human being is nothing but only protons and electrons or neutrons, which is only up quarks. So what happens in the human body? You will be having only three deaths. One is due to sick, or due to accident, or due to old age. Old age, what happens? Because of the instability, the energy of the space is always the same. Because of the instability, like how from uranium, helium is coming out, during age, the space will be dominating, and other particles will try to, we cannot withstand the pressure. And if an accident, nothing but because of the space is compressing all the quarks. See, the human body is nothing but space is holding only up quarks. Only the number of up quarks varies. For the proton, for the neutron, for the atom, for the carbon atom, only names are different, but only the space is holding the up quarks, and till the time the space can hold it, we can live. Till the time it becomes unstable, we have to leave the world, and we start from the space and we end in the space. So if any other questions, you can please ask, or we can finish.
Good afternoon, everyone. My field is entirely different. I am not into biology, physics, chemistry. I am a lawyer. And we have seen many heroes, like Hollywood heroes, Titanic, the Jack, Leonardo DiCaprio, the hero. And we have seen so many heroes in Bollywood, Kollywood. And now we are seeing the hero of the universe. Jagadala Kannan, Krishnan. And one thing keeps remembering me. Those days, I'm talking about 1,000 years, since 1,000 years, we didn't have schools, colleges, nothing. But we had so many engineers. They have built temple in Meenakshi, Madurai Meenakshi Amman temple, Tanjai Periyakkoil. Those engineers, nowadays, we have never seen an engineering, even after having so many colleges. We have so many years, we have not produced any of the engineers like those days. And what is the real fact in it? It all devolved from the spirituality. And moreover, I've got a question about this topic, that is, the cells that has a microscopic view, and now the quarks, we point out it is 2, 4 and 5, and whether the quarks has a microscopic view, or is it possible to view in a microscope? And if it has a microscopic view, it will be much easier for all the persons to understand. Just, I want an explanation about this. Thank you.
Shiva, can you come again with your question, please? Can you repeat your question once again?
My question is, the cells have a microscopic view, and now we say that we have 4 quarks, 5 quarks, and that quarks, does it have a microscopic view? Is it possible to view in a microscope? This is my question.
Thank you, Shiva, because you are a lawyer. You asked this question, I'm very happy about it. But this quark is not my discovery. It is already experimentally proved. They are point-like structures. They have been viewed through microscope, and they don't have any size. Size is 0. And spin is, they are having half spin. So it is experimentally proved by experiments that there are 6 types of quarks, up, down, bottom, top, and charm and strange. So out of 6, only 2 are stable, which is inside protons and which is inside neutrons. And it was discovered, as I told you, The problem is only in the theoretical physics, not in the experimental physics. All experiments are correct. The interpretation is wrong. So now I am trying to bring the right interpretation, and I am writing theory only for the existing experiments. My experiment don't have to be validated, don't have to be tested. I am writing theory for the experiment. People are writing theory to conduct experiments. So this is already proved. Microscopic view, they have already seen it. That is why today in the Standard model there are 6 quarks. It's already there. It's not my discovery. So what I am trying to tell here is the fundamental up quark which cannot be further divided. Down quark is nothing but 2 up quark which can be further divided. Proton is nothing but 4 up quarks. Neutron is nothing but 5 up quarks. So what is cannot be further divided? Up quark. Not quark, up quark. Because down quark is into 2 up quarks. So whichever you cannot further divide, that should be the fundamental building blocks of the molecules, or maybe for the human beings or for the atoms, whatever it may be. Right? So till now, nobody have done a research deeply into quarks because medical doctors were not interested in physics. Physicists are not interested in cells. Then who have to answer, tell me? Somebody like me have to answer. So if I answer, they will tell me I am mentally unstable. So if I don't answer again, there is an issue in the world. So I am not worried about the comments because there are 3 proverbs. This made me very strong. This is my Guru's proverb. No one can take away from you what providence has allotted for you. Right? So whatever is there for me. Whether I work, I don't worry. Whether I don't work, I don't worry because it is already there for me. So why do I have to take all the comments? I just ignore and I keep moving myself. And second one is, no success comes on its own. Behind every success, there are untold stories. Mark it, untold stories of trials, miseries, losses, failures and humiliations. So there are many stories which I have not told. So that doesn't mean that we are having a failure. It's not a failure. So whatever is there, then why do I have to worry? Why do I have to work? I am concentrating on this theory to make sure the world, to make the understand the world. What will happen if this theory is established? Nothing will happen. Everyone will master the universe. When you master the universe, everyone will know what happened next. And everyone will know where you come from and where you will go. Nobody will be scared about even death. And the inventions will be more, discoveries will be more. The only I am struggling here and fighting to make sure the people understand exactly how the universe works. This is my concept. Anything else? Shall we finish or? Yes. Any question? Yes.
So the Einstein theory equal to mc square we are employing in various fields, like even in biology, in bioimaging also we are employing the C equal to mc square. And how can you compromise our biology students to employ your theory equal to W square?
Please take a seat. See, are you asking about for the biology student how I am trying to convince the physics? But definitely yes. See, in physics E is equal to mc squared. E is the energy, m is mass and c is speed of light. Right? I am telling c is wrong. Why I am telling c is wrong? Again, I am giving the same example because why I made this example, even the school students will understand. That is why I keep on repeating. I will give you 2 things, 2 examples. The same example I will tell you again. If there is a wall, if the water is hitting the wall and coming back, right? If there is no wall, what happens? No wall? There is no negative force. So only one force. Only if there is a solid object, there is 2 forces. Same way as a biology, you are studying about cells. What is cells again? Cells are made up of, again, molecules and atoms. Again, you have to go back to the same protons, electrons. Again, you have to come back to the quarks. How quark is working? Same way like E is equal to mc squared. The quark, the same space is hitting and coming back, which is electrons. As I told, this experiment is favoring me because when you smashing the protons, the result is only electrons. Only quark should come or proton should come. But the result is what? Electrons. Why? Because inside there are electrons. There are 4 electrons. So as a biologist, the concept is the same, isn't it? The same space is hitting the quark and coming back. In physics, the same space is hitting the object and coming back. And again, when coming back, the light is constant or not? Can it be constant? Because the compressive force is pushing and the light is coming in the negative direction. As I told you, again, I will explain. There is a tungsten, there is a bulb, electrons are moving, isn't it? And there is a tungsten. Electrons are moving at very high speed. Once it approaches the tungsten, what happens? The tungsten is giving very high pressure. It slows down. Again, electrons are moving after the crossing, it's moving at very high speed. So the concept is the same. Because of the tungsten, the electrons are slowed for only certain fraction of time. What is happening there? There is emitted third event is light. If you have a wood, will the light comes? Instead of tungsten, if you have a wood, will you get light? No. So same way, see, just imagine when the space can hold billions and billions of planets and stars, do you think what the energy is for our body? Just imagine when the space can hold the earth and the same energy is holding our body. Just imagine. The same space is holding the earth, the same space is holding the same quarks. Only the difference is the number of up quarks is different. Maybe 1, maybe 10, maybe 100. The same space is pushing. When it is combining and when repulsive force is generated, we live. If earth stops, repulsive force will not be generated and we will get collapsed. As Einstein told, there will not be any waves, gravitational waves. Today there is a big experiment, gravitational waves. They detected, they are celebrating Einstein, and in few years they will be celebrating me because they have detected only repulsive force, which is important for biologists. Inside, it starts from the quarks until physics, whatever may be. The origin is same for physics, the origin is same for chemistry, the origin is same for biology, the origin is same for engineering as well as medical science. So this is the origin, this is the only theory gives answer for every field and every questions, and no other theory will answer dark matter, no other theory will answer how death occurs, no other theory will answer the up quark is the building blocks of living beings. Yes, sir. Any questions? Yes, yes, come. Okay. Okay, is there anything, any questions, or shall we finish? So let me ask our secretary that whether shall we proceed or we have to stop. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Hero. Thank you, Hero. Hello. Thank you, Hero, sculptor of human brilliance. Your presence today is more than a keynote. It is a doorway into understanding the very architecture of life and the quiet physics of death. Thank you for enriching interactions. Now comes the most soul-stirred moment of our program, honoring the one who elevates this hall with their very presence. Dear guest of honor, your footsteps turn ordinary pathways into possibilities. We are privileged to honor our visionaries today.
May I now invite Antonius Girls to honor our chief guest Thiru Nanja Kaunda, Baduga community leader, with the shawl and memento. Thank you, sir. May I now invite Antonian Girls to honor our chief guest, Thiru C. Sivashankar, former Assistant Director, TNEB, with the shawl and memento. Thank you, sir. May I now invite Antonian girls to honor our chief guest, Sister Angel Mary, Headmistress St. Anne's School, represented by Mrs. Jurica, St. Anne's School, with the shawl and memento. Thank you, ma'am. May I now invite Antonian girls to honor our chief guest, Thiru N. Devarajan, CEO, Benchmark Tea Factory, Ooty, with the shawl. Thank you, sir. May I now invite Antonian girls to honor our chief guest, Thirujip Samuel, J. Anas, Construction Kunur, with the shawl and memento. Okay. May I now invite Anne's girls to honor St. Anne's School teachers, Mrs. Catherine, with the shawl. Thank you, ma'am. May I now call upon Anne's girls to honor St. Anne's School, Mrs. Maria Lidwina, with the shawl. Thank you, ma'am. May I now request Anne's girls to honor St. Anne's School teacher, Mrs. Winnie Maria, with the shawl. Thank you, ma'am. May I now request Antonian girl to honor our teacher, Mrs. Parveen, St. Anthony's School, with the shawl. Thank you, ma'am. May I now request Antonian girls to honor our teacher, Mrs. Radhika, St. Anthony's School, with the shawl.
Thank you, ma'am. May I now invite Antonian girl to honor a teacher, Mrs. Angel Mintami, Antony School, with a shawl. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, honorable guests and my dear students. Gratitude is not spoken, it is felt. To share that feeling with us. And now, as this memorable program nears its golden conclusion, it's time for the voice of gratitude to rise. I wholeheartedly invite a man of wisdom, clarity, and dignity, Dr. V. Ponusami, former principal, Ramakrishna Mission, Vidyalaya, and Vice President, WCSC, Coimbatore Zone, to present the vote of thanks. Please, sir.
வாழ்க வையகம் வாழ்க வையகம் வாழ்க வளமுடன் குரு வாழ்க குருவே துணை. Are you able to hear my voice? Actually, this is not my voice. I feel some problem in my throat, but it will not be there throughout. Okay? So let me thank Dr. Kannan for his excellent presentation. And he told that people are used to call me as mental. Hereafter, all the people will call him as a metal. Which is the costliest metal? Do you know? Diamond, gold is not the costliest. Now the ladies are saying about gold is the costliest metal because it is rising. Actually, rhodium is the costliest metal. And because of its activity, californium, 1 gram of californium, because it is having radioactive property, it costs $27,000 million. So hereafter, California, Cannon, Australia, Cannon, because he radiates. Californium is radiating, very similar to this californium Cannon is also radiating. See, ஒரு சின்ன கதை சொல்லி முடிக்கணும் because lot of thanks னு சொன்னா what of thanks முடிஞ்சிரும். But I have been given with 10 minutes. ஒருத்தர் இப்போ he has given a very nice definition for death. If you are able to squeeze out the entire 1% objects, you will get 100% space. Am I right? 4.7, roughly 5% of the total space is being converted into entities or the objects. And right now, Kannan told that only 1% of the space is being converted into objects. And inside this 1% also, if you go for the level of quark, 99% space. So this leads to the thought that in physics there will be always the volume, density and mass. If you are able to further squeeze the space, it will be the entire universe. இப்போ நீங்கள் சொன்னீங்க இல்லையா 4.7%, அதை ஸ்க்வீஸ் பண்ணிங்கன்னு சொன்னால் it will be just like a lemon. There is an experimental truth. ஒரு எலும்புச்சம்பழம் அளவுக்கு இந்த என்டையர் யூனிவர்ஸை, எக்ஸிஸ்டிங் யூனிவர்ஸை நம்ம வந்து அழுத்தி பண்ண முடியுங்கிறோம். If it is so, then there is a possibility of accepting the Big Bang theory. Am I right? Kannan, can you throw some light over this comment, please? Are accepting my own student Chitralega is here, Dr. Chitralega. She is having a different thought about the origin of universe that will be discussed in the next session, the forthcoming. Or you want to comment over this, or let me pass on? Okay. புரியுதுங்களா? ஒரு புள்ளி சிங்குலாரிட்டி பாயிண்ட்லேருந்து the universe emerged out. And death is the unbalancing of the quarks. I have to think it over. அதாவது ஹியூமன் டெத் வந்து அக்கர் ஆகிறது அப்படிங்கிறது, there are two things. ரொம்ப சிம்பிளாக சொல்லணும்னு சொன்னால், one is stimulus and the other is response. Dr. Kannan told that this is the object which is restricting the further propagation of the energy, or what is called the proton. If it is not there, it will continue as long as continues to be in the state of rest or in the uniform motion. That is the inertia defined by Newton. Very similar to that, it is a new definition or rewriting the framework of physics. So this kindled so many ideas. அப்போ வந்து அந்த ஸ்டிமுலஸ் கொடுக்கறதெல்லாம் வந்து எக்ஸ்டர்னல் ஏஜென்ட்ஸு அதை ரெஸ்பாண்ட் பண்ணுற வரைக்கும் தான் உங்கள் உடம்புல உயிர் இருக்கும். தேர் ஆர் டூ திங்ஸ், ஸ்டிமுலஸ் அண்ட் ரெஸ்பான்ஸ். இப்போது ஒரு வரக்கூடியதை நீங்கள் வந்து எதிர்த்து போராடக்கூடிய அளவுக்கு, தட் டு அட் தி லெவல் ஆஃப் குவார்க் அளவுக்கு நீங்கள் உடம்பு வந்து காம்பினேஷன் ஆஃப் குவார்க்ஸ் அப்படின்னு சொன்னால் உள்ளே இருக்கக்கூடிய த லாஸ்ட் குவார்க் இஸ் இஃப் இட் இஸ் நாட் ஏபிள் டு ரெஸ்பாண்ட் டு த ஸ்டிமுலஸ் தென் த டெத் அக்கர்ஸ். am I right? Yes. Thank you. என்ன விஷயம்னா ஒருத்தனுக்கு டெத்து, இப்போ டெத்து ஒரு கெத்து ஆயிடுச்சு நமக்கு. அப்போ என்ன பார்க்கும், இந்த சோல் சொன்னார் இல்லையா, சோலுக்கு ஒரு புது டெஃபினேஷன்லாம் சொல்லியிருக்காரு, தனியாக நிறைய பேச வேண்டியிருக்கு. அது ட்ராவல் பண்ணுது, எங்கே போகுது, நம்மளாம் எங்கே போக விரும்புகிறோம், சொர்க்கத்துக்கு ஒரு 6 மணிக்கு போய் சேருது. சாயங்காலம் போய் சேர்ந்த உடனே அங்கே வந்து ஒரு 6 மணிக்கு எப்பவுமே மணி அடிச்சுட்டு வந்து ஒரு ஊர்வலம் வரும். சொர்க்கத்தில் ஊர்வலம் போயிட்டுருக்காங்க. பார்த்தா முன்னாடி ஜீசஸ் போகிறாரு, பின்னாடி ஒரு பரிவாரங்கள், பின்ன மேலதாளமெல்லாம் போயிட்டுருக்கு. அடுத்தது அல்லாஹ் வர்றாரு. ஜஸ்ட் இமேஜின், அவருக்கு அதே மாதிரி ஒரு பெரிய பரிவாரம், பெரிய கூட்டம், ஒரே செலிப்ரேஷன். அதுக்கப்புறம் நம்ம சங்கு சக்கரம் வச்சுருக்கா இல்லையா, யார் அது, த கண்ணன், அவர் வர்றாரு, அவருக்கு பெரிய செலிப்ரேஷன். கடைசியில் லார்டு சிவா வந்தாராம். அந்த கடைசி ஊர்வலத்தில் கடைசியாக ஒரு கழுதையை பிடிச்சிட்டு கிழிஞ்ச சட்டையை போட்டுட்டு ரொம்ப பரிதாபமான வரையில் வந்தாப்புல. அந்த ஓடி போய் பார்த்தா ஆள் இருக்கார் இல்லையா, அவர் அது வரைக்கும் அந்த வாயில் காவலன் வந்து அந்த ஊர்வலத்தை தடுத்துட்டு இருந்தவன் உள்ளே இப்போ வந்து ஊர்வலம் போகும்போது சொர்க்கத்துக்குள்ளே போக முடியாதுன்னு சொன்னான். இதை ஆர்வத்தினால வந்து தள்ளி விட்டு போட்டு ஓடி போய் அவன் சட்டை பிடிச்சிழுது சிவனை பார்த்து கேட்டாப்லையா, எல்லாருக்கும் இத்தனை ஊர்வலம் போகுது, நீங்கள் கழுதையை பிடிச்சிட்டு பரிதாபமாக போயிட்டுருக்கீங்களே, நீங்கள் யாருன்னு கேட்டான். நான் தான் சிவன், நான் தான் ஒரிஜினல், இவனுங்கள்லாம் போலிகள்லாம் போயிட்டுருக்கானுங்க அப்படின்னு சொன்ன மாதிரி. இன்றைக்கி போலி சயின்டிஸ்டெல்லாம் ஒரு ரியல் சயின்டிஸ்ட்டை வேறு மாதிரி ஒரு கமெண்ட் சொல்கிறாங்கன்னு சொன்னாங்க. ஆர் ஏபிள் டு அசிமுலேட் பண்ண முடிஞ்சுதான் நான் சொன்ன விஷயத்தை. அதை பற்றி நிறைய சொல்லணும். முன்ன வந்து பேசிக்கலி when the science started its emergence, we had only 4 subjects: mathematics, physics, chemistry and biology. There is no subject over the 4 subjects. And of course physics is the concept of universe, speaking the concept of universe through the media of mathematics. Am I right? Speaking the concept of universe through the media of mathematics. That is physics. Microscopic level, chemistry. Then evolution of the living beings, biology. So all these are joined together on the platform of mathematics. What about mathematics? Mathematics is nothing but the association of numbers. கடைசியில் வந்து ஈக்குவல் டு 0ன்னு ப்ரூவ் பண்ணுவான். அதுக்குள்ளே பையனும் வாத்தியாரும் படுற கஷ்டம் எவ்வளோ கஷ்டம். அந்த 0 பார்த்த உடனே ஈக்குவல் டு 0, thus proved. That is mathematics. So it starts with a 0 and ends with a infinity. What is infinity? That cannot be measured. Infinity. Very similar to that, the spirituality, philosophy are well connected because of ஆதியும் அந்தமும் இல்லா அருட்பெருஞ்சோதி. ஆதி இல்லை அந்தமும் இல்லை, அந்த ஆதி இல்லாதது தான் 0, அந்தம் இல்லாதது தான் இன்ஃபினிட்டி. அதை தான் மேத்தமெட்டிக்ஸ் எடுத்துகிட்டு போகுது. ஸோ மேத்தமெட்டிக்ஸுங்கிற சப்ஜெக்டில் ஃபிசிக்ஸ், கெமிஸ்ட்ரி, பயாலஜி ட்ராவல் பண்ணணும். அது பண்ணிச்சுன்னு சொன்னால் we can do wonders. இந்த கான்செப்டை தெளிவில்லாமல் நான் அதனோட ஒர்க்கை கமெண்ட் பண்ண விரும்பலை. பட் he told that I'm going to stop my work here and I will propagate the ideas அப்படின்னு சொன்னார். Your work should not stop immediately. The day will come, people will occur. ஸ்டீஃபன் ஹாக்கின்ஸ் என்ன சொன்னான், நான் கடவுளை தேடிக்கொண்டிருக்கிறேன், ரொம்ப தேடி கடைசியில் பார்த்தா இங்கே பாருங்கள் நம்ம கம்யூனிட்டியில் ராமனையா உட்காந்துருக்காரு, அது மாதிரி ரொம்ப எளிமையாக இருக்கும் கடவுள் அப்படின்னு சொன்னான் ஸ்டீஃபன் ஹாக்கின்ஸ். கடவுள் ரொம்ப எளிமையானவர், அதனால் தேடுங்க தேடுங்க தேடுங்க. அதை ரிலேட் பண்ண முடியுமான்னு பாருங்கள். இதில் வந்து நான் இப்போ வோட் ஆஃப் தேங்க்ஸ் சொல்ல வேண்டியது என்னோடய ரோல். இதில் ஒரு விஷயம் என்னென்னா, ஸ்கூல் ஆஃப் தாட் அப்படிம்பாங்க சயின்ஸில். இங்கே ஒரு தாட்டுக்காக இத்தனை ஸ்கூல் மெம்பர்ஸ் வந்திருக்காங்க. இது தாட் ஆஃப் ஸ்கூல் ஆகிடுச்சு இப்போ. So many teachers were recognized and honored on the stage. And this program is almost beared by the school platform, it seems. அதாவது ஒரு ஸ்கூலில் படித்த ஒரு மாணவன் அந்த ஸ்கூலுக்கு திரும்ப செய்கிறது, அந்த டீச்சர்ஸ் அதை ரெக்கக்னைஸ் பண்ணுறது, அந்த நிர்வாகம் அதை பாராட்டுறது பெரிய விஷயம். அதான் அதனால் அந்த ஸ்கூல் டீச்சர்ஸு, ஸ்கூல் ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸு அவங்க தான் ஈவெண்ட் பண்ணாங்க. நார்மலாக பெரியவங்களை கூப்பிட்டு வந்து மாலை போட்டு மரியாதை பண்ணணும்னு சொல்லுவோம். பட் இங்கே இருந்து ஸ்கூல் குழந்தைங்க வந்து வெரி டிக்னிஃபைடாக வந்து பண்ணாங்க. ரொம்ப அருமையாக இருந்துச்சு. ஸோ ஐ அப்ரிஷியேட் த ரோல் ஆஃப் த ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் அண்ட் த டீச்சர்ஸ் ஆஃப் திஸ் பர்டிகுலர் ஸ்கூல், செயின்ட் ஆண்டனி இல்லையா அந்த ஸ்கூல். அதுக்கு ஒரு ப்ரேயர் ஒரு கொடுத்தார் பாஸ்கரன், அங்கேருந்து முடிச்சிடுவா. அவர் எனக்கு ஆல்வேஸ் ஐ எம் ஹேவிங் ஏ ஃபேசினேஷன் டுவர்ட்ஸ் பாஸ்கரன். பாஸ்கரன் இஸ் ஆல்வேஸ், பாஸ்கரன் சொன்னால் சூரியன் அர்த்தம். அவர் அப்படி தான் இருக்கார். முடியில்லாத சூரியன் வேணால் நீங்கள் சொல்லிக்கிங்க அவரை. ஆல்வேஸ் ஹீஸ் எ சன் ரேடியேட்டிங். அவர் பாட்டில் வந்து சுயமாய் சிந்தித்தே தெளிவாய், சொல்லால் மட்டும் நம்பாதே சுயமாய் சிந்தித்தே தெளிவாய், மகரிஷி சொன்னது. அதான் என்ன பண்ணியிருக்காரு இப்போ கண்ணன் வந்து சுயமாக சிந்திச்சு தெளிவாயிட்டார். மற்றவங்கள அந்த தெளிவான ஸ்டேட்டுக்கு கொண்டு வரதில் தான் பிரச்சனை இருக்குது இல்லைங்களா? அதனால் அருமையான ப்ரேயர் சொன்ன பாஸ்கரன் ஐயாவுக்கு ரொம்ப தேங்க்ஸுங்க. அடுத்தது டாக்டர் தாமஸ் அவங்க வந்திருந்தாங்க இல்லைங்களா? சார் தானே, வெல்கம் ஸ்பீச், வெரி டிக்னிஃபைடு, வெரி 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 மெட்டிகுலஸ் ஸ்பீச். I thank him on the entire forum, Brother Dr. Thomas Sir, for his excellent welcoming speech. நிறைய சொன்னார் அவர், குழந்தைங்களாம் அதை எடுத்துகிட்டு பண்ணணும். அதில் சொன்னது வே அப்படிங்கிற எழுத்துக்கு ரொம்ப பவர் அப்படின்னு சொன்னார். நம்ம வேதாத்திரி எங்கே தொடங்குது? வேல தொடங்குது. தட் இஸ் அவர் வே ஆல்சோ. அந்த வழியாக தானே நம்ம நடக்கிறோம் இல்லைங்களா? அது இன்னொரு பாயிண்ட்டை நீங்கள் சேர்த்துக்கணும். வேதம், வேட்கை எல்லாம் சொன்னாங்க, வேடமெல்லாம் சொல்லி அழகாக சொன்னாங்க. ஸோ வி தேங்க் அவர் பிரதர் தாமஸ் சார். அதுக்கப்புறம் வேறு யார் வந்தாங்க? நிறைய பேர் வந்தாங்க. அதில் வந்து அக்தர் கலாம் அவரோட ஸ்பீச் இருந்துச்சுங்க. யாருக்கிட்ட வேணாலும் பாராட்டு வாங்கலாம், கைடுகிட்ட பாராட்டு வாங்க முடியாது. கைடு பாராட்டியிருக்காருன்னா அப்போ ஸ்டூடெண்ட்டு நல்லா இருந்திருக்காருன்னு அர்த்தம். யாரை இங்கே பாராட்டணுங்கிறதுக்கு வந்து ஒரு பாடல் பழம்பாடல் இருக்குது, அது இன்னொரு நாள் சொல்லுவோம். ஆனால் வாத்தியாரை மட்டும் எங்கே பார்த்தாலும் பாராட்டிகிட்டு இருக்கணுமா அப்படின்னு ஒன்று இருக்குது. நம்ம ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ்லாம் அப்படி இல்லை. இன்றைக்கி வந்து ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ்லாம் மாறிட்டாங்க இல்லையா? ஏன்னா மாதா பிதா குரு தெய்வம்னு இருந்த ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட்டு இப்போ மாதா பிதா கூகுள் தெய்வம்ங்கிறான். கூகுளை தூக்கி குரு இடத்துல வச்சிட்டான். அதனால் அவரோட குரு அவரை ரொம்ப பாராட்டியிருக்காங்க. எலக்ட்ரிக்கல் பவர் சிஸ்டம்ஸில் வந்து சார் கொஞ்சம் ஒர்க்கெல்லாம் நிறைய பண்ணியிருக்கீங்க. இந்த பவர் கரண்ட்டு கம்பியில் போனால் மேக்னட்டிசம் வரும், மேக்னட்டிசத்தில் கம்பியை சுற்றினா கரண்ட் வரும். They are complementary concepts. When they are joining together, you will get electromagnetic wave. This electromagnetic wave can penetrate the space and you can have connection over that. இப்போ மூணில் போய் சந்திராயன் இறங்கினாலும் எர்த் ஸ்டேஷன்லேருந்து கம்யூனிகேட் பண்ணுறது இது எலக்ட்ரோமேக்னெட்டிக் வேவ்ஸ். அதுதான் என்டையர் யூனிவர்ஸ். ரொம்ப அழகாக அதில் ஒர்க் பண்ணியிருக்கதா சொன்னாங்க. அதுக்கு வந்து let us appreciate the talk given by his guru. அடுத்தது யார் வந்தாங்க? பாஸ்கரன் சொல்லி ஒருத்தர் வந்தார். சைபர் கிரைமு. இப்போ கிரைம் வந்து சைபரானால் பரவாயில்ல, பட்டு சைபர் கிரைம்னு சொல்லி அது ஒரு விருங்கல். அதுலேயே வந்து ஃப்ரம் பாண்டிச்சேரி அவர் ஒரு டாக் கொடுத்தாங்க. அவர் ஒரு இடத்துல வந்து யோகி கண்ணன் அப்படின்னு சொன்னாங்க. இப்போது ஹோலிஸ்டிக் பர்சனாலிட்டி வந்து இஸ் வித்தின் கண்ணன் அப்படிங்கிறதுக்கு அது ஒரு ப்ரூஃப். நம்ம சொல்லக்கூடாது இல்லையா? நம்மளே நல்லவன் சொல்லிட்டா அப்படி. ஆனால் வந்து அவர் சொல்லியிருக்காரு, அவர் ஒரு பெரிய, அதனால் அவருக்கும் அருமையான வார்த்தையெல்லாம் சொன்னாருங்க. அவருக்கும் he explained about the emergence of Vedas. And the heliocentric theory பற்றியில் அவர் நிறைய சொல்லியிருந்தார். அடுத்தது அப்புறம் சார் வந்து நம்ம மிலிட்டரி கேம்பில் இருந்து ஒருத்தர் வந்தார் இல்லையா? எஸ், வி சல்யூட் ஃபார் யுவர் excellent service. Being the representative of is the person who allotted for the session, he did excellent. நல்ல விஷயங்களை ரொம்ப அருமையாக சொன்னீங்க. அதுக்கு வந்து on behalf of our nation we are ready to salute your service, commendable service, sir. Thank you. இப்போ ஆல்மோஸ்ட் எல்லோரும் வந்துட்டோம். ட்ரூத் இஸ் சிம்பிள் ஆல்வேஸ். நேர்மைக்கும் பலன் கிடைக்கும் ஆனால் நீண்ட நாள் காத்திருக்க வேண்டும். யார் சொன்னதுங்க? மகாத்மா காந்தி. ஐன்ஸ்டீன் ஒரு பெரிய சயின்ஸு சொன்ன ஐன்ஸ்டீன் அவர் சொன்ன ஒரு தியரி, இஃப் மை தியரி ஃபெயில்ஸ் தென் தி காட் மஸ்ட் பி மிஸ்டேக்கன் சம்வேர் எல்ஸ். இஃப் மை தியரி ஃபெயில்ஸ் தென் தி காட் மஸ்ட் பி மிஸ்டேக்கன் சம்வேர் எல்ஸ். அதான் அவர் சொன்ன அந்த கான்ஃபிடென்ஸ். அது மாதிரி கண்ணனுக்கு அந்த கான்ஃபிடென்ஸ் இருக்குது. அவரோட ரூமில் வந்து காந்தி படத்தை மட்டும் வச்சுருந்து கீழே ஒரு ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் எழுதியிருந்தார், ஒன் மேன் கேன் மேக் எ டிஃபரன்ஸ். ஐ ஃபவுண்ட் தட் ஒன் மேன் இன் கண்ணன். ஸோ எகைன் கிரேட் அப்ளாஸ் டு கண்ணன். அண்ட் the constancy of velocity of light proposed by the are verified with Michelson-Morley experiment, and he is contradicting the statement. The day will come, the scientists will prove, and we all enjoy the success of his theory. So once again, I thank all the dignitaries who presented, the guest who has given the lectures. Of course, உங்கள் ப்ரோக்ராம் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணுறதுக்கு நேரம் கொஞ்சம் காலம் ஆனதுக்கு காரணம், நாங்கள் வெளியில் ஒரு லாரியை மீட் பண்ணோம். அது ரொம்ப மெதுவாக போச்சு, எங்களுக்கு வழியும் கொடுக்கல. நம்ம வளர்ச்சியில் நிறைய பேர் அது மாதிரி தான் லாரியாக இருக்கிறாங்க. அந்த லாரிக்கு தான் ஒரு சாரி சொல்லணும், இல்லாமல் எங்களுக்கு சொல்லக்கூடாது. வந்ததுக்கு அதான், அதனால் கொஞ்சம் லேட்டானாலும் செந்தில்குமார் ஐயா வந்து ரொம்ப அழகாக அவர் ஒரு சைக்காலஜி. ஸோ இப்போ வந்து அந்த க்ரீமி லேயர் அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க எங்கள் ஜோன் பிரசிடெண்ட்டு. இப்போல்லாம் கிருமி லேயர் தானே இருக்குது, க்ரீமி லேயர்லாம் போயிடுச்சு. அதனால் அந்த க்ரீமி லேயராக இருக்கக்கூடிய செந்தில்குமார் ஐயா வந்து அழகாக ஒரு கமெண்ட் பண்ணாங்க. அவர் தான் ஹி ஹஸ் டேக்கன் த டீம் டு தி பர்டிகுலர் பிளேஸ். அது இல்லாமல் அவர் கீழே ராக்கெட்டை விட்டவர் கீழே உட்காந்து கண்ட்ரோல் பண்ணுற மாதிரி இவர் மஞ்சுநாத் ஐயா எங்களை கண்ட்ரோல் பண்ணிகிட்டே இருந்தார், கைட் பண்ணிகிட்டே இருந்தார். அவர் வந்து நேத்தே ஹி ரீச்டு தி பிளேஸ். இவ்வளோ விஷயங்கள்லாம் வந்து இவ்வளோ பெரிய ஆட்களாக இருக்காங்க. அந்த மேடம் இருக்காங்க, சார் இருக்காங்க, சார் எல்லாம் ஒருத்தரையும் குறிப்பிட்டு சொல்லலினாலும் ஐ தேங்க் தி டோட்டல் பார்ட்டிசிபென்ட்ஸ் ஃபார் திஸ் மெமரபிள் டே அண்ட் த மெமரபிள் ஈவெண்ட். தேங்க்யூ அண்ணா, தேங்க்யூ ஆல் சொல்லுங்க.
Thank you, sir. Your words did not just thank, they touched every heart with deep gratitude and pride. We bring this program to a beautiful close. Stay extraordinary. Our most honorable visionaries, we will come to your place and honor with the shawl and memento.
Thiru M. Bojraj. Please, sir. திரு டி சுகுமார். திரு சி முருகன் கவுடர். Okay, come forward. Thank you, sir. Thiru B. Krishnamurthy. Please come forward, sir. Thiru R. Kannan. Please come forward, sir. Sir, come. Sir, come forward. Thank you, sir. Thiru J.J. Raju. Thiru T. Jagannathan. Dr. A. Purnima. Thiru M.S. Karthigeyan. Thiru M. Mahalingan. Thiru K.I. Shivakumar. Thiru M. Narayanan. Thiru E. Ravi. Thiru R. Subramani Gaudar. Thiru P. Jayaraman. Thiru M. Babu. Thiru A. Dinesh Kumar. Thiru O. N. Balasundaram. Thiru N. Devarajan. Dr. M. Vinodini. Professor E. Chandrasekharan. Thiru J.K. Murthy. Thiru G. Raju. Mr. Shanti A. Ramu. Thiru J. Gopalan. Our hero, Dr. Kannan Jagadala Krishnan, former Director, Academic Research, DSGI. Please come forward, sir. A big salute of gratitude to all gathered here. We now invite everyone to enjoy a warm and wonderful lunch. Thank you, everyone. May I now call upon Mrs. Saraswati to come forward to honor Dr. Kannan. Please, ma'am.
நான் என்னுடைய ஊர் ஜெகதலதா. 2080 வரைக்கும் ஆன்ஸ் கான்வென்ட் ஸ்டூடெண்ட்டு. 2009-10 என் பையன் ஆண்டனிஸ் ஸ்டூடெண்ட்டு. நான் அதுக்கப்புறம் நான் மேத்ஸ் ஸ்டூடெண்ட்டு. கண்ணை இப்படி வருவான்னு எனக்கு தெரியாது. எனக்கு நிறைக்குடம் தழும்பாதுன்னு மீனிங் தெரியாது. இப்போ தான் தெரியுது நிறைக்குடம் தழும்பாதுன்னு என் கண்ணோட இதை பார்த்து தெரியும். நான் வெறும் டியூஷன் மாஸ்டர் தான் கண்ணனுக்கு. இப்போ அவனுக்கு என்ன சொல்கிறதுன்னு தெரியல. இது என்னோட பையன்.
Please stand for national anthem. Attention.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उत्कल दलति तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जाहे तव शुभ आशीष माहे चाहे जब जय दादा जनगण मंगल नायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे